Walker Otiako na jare na na boaje ada sankroma da nyine sanemrane se sempro na fe yempa se da so empa ema facilities group solo big solo ana dada ana yaw ai girlfriend dodo no friend you brana na no esu emu no ana afi no mapuna na fe so no DJ Bosco na Mills nso ya frɛ no tɛtɛi ni nyina ne sɛ yatena se a de nsam no beba me manti dwumadi de brɛ mu no chicha kakra ɛwɔ hɔ de bokrata no mu nsam so ɛwɔ hɔ na fe nso so ya hwɛ mpanifo beba betena se owura Nanajima of the New Patriotic Party MPP and Kingsley Amaliba of the National Democratic Congress NDC and Courage Nobi deputy spokesperson Movement for Change Franto. At the end of that honum, John Dramani Mahama settles on Nana Jane. And who says Nana Jane? Mamim Fantiabrewa. Pane Canasa. Now, Osidiana, a woman. Na a day, Baumia, ye boxuno. Ama onoso, Wakaku chusu, oba. No ba no so no ba be no chusu no. And nafe yanwene ho. Afe Movement for Change. Alankwajo Chirematene. Onenam dwom ama na no wakọ kpon dwom akọ dwapon dwom akọ ho dwom akọ mafikumasi dwom akọ soga kope dwom e de ababedro dwom strategy no, how is it panning out? Ten years no, how do we talk about the duopoly and go for Ghana nyam MPP NDC nyam MPP NDC pambe so na narrative no ebetimi aye adwuma ni nyina no ye bedwendwene ho. But before then ajere Over say. Over. What from you? Yeah. Yeah, na mobo. Ajuada humache. Ebenada humache. Ebenada najo. Ukuada humache. Yawada humache. Yawada najo. Ifiada humache. Memene da humache. Hey. We dey to say so Bema won't to tam abstention you can answer can say Bemo on to tam no abstention I said the more back could be so I said there's often so I had a celibate is celibacy I just said we jai decra sir we jai baby I just say when the cancer and Obana no we jai Obana me can you imagine celibacy Amansa Chiame Staff Sergeant Harrison Ford Kwabena Mavo no attention he will never forget it Kabine hey nisu no so achele kama nisu so achele specialize no so achele kama nisu ne wom say ja ye kan ene nipa bebre so okokra na chese nisu ne kan ho obi esuru ya de du ba bia ye de ade chechire ye ho too much chicha de mfa de chechire ye ho oh nyanke mfa de chechire ye ho so ne bema ahoda so ne bema bema so so no nya ba bi ko ba na we ye bema wonni adwuma wonni hire ofa nipa wa ho se wote ase a ana wonni ho no mu a ho ya ba besua na wote usa na wote ya wasa wo mabo ya wasa wo yiribo oh ofa forget it oh enti se wonka ewrade ya wadom na wetumi edi onna dodo no mu ame te said ono asese ma wo breso a na wo kwa anka ene ye better chance ebia adie bia ye pepere ho tumidie bia ye pepere ho akannie bia ye pepere ho office bia ye pepere ho na obi betwa won kwana so nipa bebre ma ye nyanka nwisia a ya mo wo din kura nka sembio ya nhihye wo makira kwan enti at least minim se urade na boy ho ban ode ye ko ode ye ba asomdie mu
ba wanso wa hweye kakra de of a memfa ni agure sanse nipa na ho afu
uso aka asem o ma bibi atwi me because na nka ojo ban redu na ne baba wa bi na nko get in touch ba wo kan me yema hye nka over the years crament nka bi
when was the last time
I mean nka bi me asamoa jamfi me kai ne yire achi wasamoa jamfi yire kura no ana no me hwe ensa wode bre me ne carrier bag na shim ene normal souvenir wode asamoa jamfi ade nyina no just oba no kura no me so me hwehwe no so hono Bismarck Bibley now also one of the good writers for Chronicle. Bismarck was like a brother. So umua bonse na yire no get in touch ne manta for no omo birthday nanka was sending me message say o man birthday oni ade no nya kaso ho no Mrs. Bismarck Bibley wa ma me yema sheme kakro because there are certain category of persons and nanka Mrs. Bismarck Bibley o man matenka and then do I even know say na sitna mu te san ojo ban redu baba abaye na sitna mam free maba na sitna mu te san asamoa Mrs. Asamoa Jamfi na sitna mu te san. So what did you just say? What's the saying?
Wafa bebre kura beba begina we yase ahebo. Mesi ye ni we no ano no. Eh, wontene nka bia o fra no krampo a ebia na fra wo fra na wo je no so no. Na ye nkita wo de da wo ni ne kunu ntem ni. Enne ekunu no a na wo ni wo nkita wo de no ani ho bie wo no. Na yere kura wo no ko a wo pa be fa wo pa wo mfa. Eh ne mano se bia wo sia wo bi na wo kato si wo fada kabre me ne anti bebreba no o wona wanyini say ye eno ano no waka wie
wo so aka asem
watwa so eno ano no ko eno ano no ofa wo tiase a ene ye ka wo
tiase a
woni ho a eno ano no
enti bema no be describe bema say bema osusuo say wo tiase no obehwe ama ne yire aye self-sufficient, independent minded. Na sedati bimpo oni ho a oba no enko obia na so enkosre. Na nko oba na timi ahwe ne made na ama no. Sa be ma no obe describe no say.
Enkanya bad. Anya bad kura.
Aka say enkanya bad. Na je say me na se po bi ho.
Of one will say. Aya na ahwede den kosinko.
Esa timbiem
ai ahwede de aya na ntan kosinko ena wobranka sa no so aya na yam predict no wo say anya ma nyina na eni aye te said ye kaza ma ni aye no anyi wo mu nyina
na kaza ahwede de nkosinko ase ne sen
eto da bia etirimo pa wo pesa wo de establish wo ba no na akoda ne bibi foforo na abeye akansia beda woni bema no entem
yes after obade ne bema no esi akan
good
o
wafa esi bebre
sa
na opese ohuri kura tra bema no konso
sa
jame kwan na osa ho entin enkanya bad se bema bepese ne yire be self sufficient, self-reliant.
Now, what do you mean you wani enfan kwada no nka se enkwada ni ntinu? I do not mind. Say mema na ye independent minded. Mema na ye self-sufficient.
Enkanya bad. But obi ohokra no a upon the wire mani nyina tinu mpo no. Se BBC na be ma no ho kire no a. Ofa wo bo se die.
Oh, enu nti wonye.
Ofa I say eye na meka say yes wo be ye.
Enu nti wonye.
Oh wo de eye anya hwe.
Ta wo de wani bu suban a wo ba ne betimi no abeye pe no abesi aka nti wonye.
Na ofa oni wo si aka no abeye pempa nkanye na eba say wo sa disrespect wo de wani onyam tutu fom a.
Die na akoye ye a bia meka say woni bi wo soso a so wo so de kra wo ntena fi wo so akọọsụ akese na wo ya. Nya no anim no de betwitwiri fom.
Ofa ayi wan we say anu a ye de jebosia no nya no a na ye ditua na anoma de nsuo mu a ne sunko na ofri nsuo no mu nso a ayana ni sunku nti enya bad media se awurade aye wadom be ma wo sika wo pese wo yiri gina ne na so e wo adwadie mu e wo sikasemu a eye wo so apusi no
mama musa me wo frase me wo frase nwanwa se wo ba be ma de irrespective of oba de obeya na de wonye na pese oba no wo ye independent no ye self sufficient ostensibly say that should be wunnim de beto wo wunnim de besie enu nti ummepese wunni hɔ a sɛdeɛ kwabena describe ye no wobɛkɔ mmea mi wonam fufuo bi ana so amomo no sɛbi omu ofie kro bɛka so omu nibie na ahokyere bi etimi aba atwi no
answer now
atwi no
wo fast ne bɛka sa no ana obɛma ne answer no I mean bisa coach I didn't know all the time no you to say mbema beweja mai because some am okay na akwa say woni wa mba oba no be den say aden why mba do mutumi wunja omukunu
but mami ntimu nkyerɛ irrespective say be ma no bɛkɔ kane ana oba no bɛkɔ kane
nti oba no so ye
immediately be ma de sɛbe enye oba sika na ɛbɛhwɛ wo
yes ejitum
munya tena ase ya no focus especially say nkwala abemu a should be say Uma obana ye sufficiently endowed. Na womo obana aye independent minded.
Yes.
Na watimi ye jina pintin.
Yes.
Dachi onukura koja wa ebesa bedi ho. Wa nkwa anya wo a ye pe the spectacle of woda ho na ye hwe ani achi na ye fu akoto akene. Na wo yire su bebrebe na obesuo ni nyina ye say. Nipa asumasi ni hoi.
Then obey.
Why no obey? Because there's also okay. Bismarck, the Anyana Makai.
Yes.
Me kura me name Mrs. Kasai Acho. As a modern fidi, Yana Makai.
Mrs. Sa Adrena. A warrior in a yetrim. Say, oh, Bema de Eddie on Bequajan, yere.
A woman, Trimana.
A well coffee break trim. Maybe no okay. Some kind of Moncasa band or Jawa. Inside me, my bemono. It's enu na ama
obe grand ama obe grand bani ye
enu ama mba bebre omukuru mewu eja omochiro ma
because wonya dwene say woza kwabena kan bibi amoye dan a magere bebo mansa na masa ato aso babena bibi o kan ye no owo eminasipo bi wo ehu bi hye ne mu say umu obadi yi a obehura tena wo kon so adu anu matwetwiri fom
anu de mene ne nya adwen
se enkwada wo mu ko
ade a ese obo mo no so ogina brane
wafa de wo mu ne se
kenyansa semu nyaza djuma bi du de wa
de bi be kenyansa semu a Oba de wo mu ne se nti wo sutie wafa
timu ma no kwabena
what's kanyanza
wafa at the moment awoni oba no aware amatena de wo be ma no ete se wo hwe se de biara da oba no betimagya ne nice
yes
so and say and na me kra de e ka me nko ampa oba no se beye mpa na kama oba na kasa nye adwuma owo control ewo so nti ebe ya kama ono kasa kra nye na adwuma
na se monko ya ba adwuma
me ma ne oya ba adwuma mani njai na hyenu sonimu na establish oba no na ono anye na adwuma na wo ba ma di akone aba na se bibi ni a wo frefie a baby bi obi a wetima control na efie timi adwo enya afie na bibi asifie ana wo ba ma no wo baabi ana wo ba frɛ na wo yere kran so san wo baabi etimi honestly speaking me wife me worry not trade me mani jai yes
I'm not here
me ma no jai ade kire no and I get alternative na get the best yes nyansa samna na make no nyansa samna na make no
sa wo penya
nyansa samna na make no yes nyansa samna na biguzo make no so na o trade ba me mani jai
none danger
see na we taking a risk but risk na we found some benefit am so minya you wouldn't know unless you we
ma oba under your direct instructions. Enya ya jumada.
But I answer me share so nyayo. Anyway, no, answer clarity. Me say me manager because I suggested to her and based upon consentment no otiase.
Oba. Under no circumstance, under your direct instructions, ube manage ajuma. Enye bi da. Enye bi da.
Over.
I didn't know. Asamba. Owo nua bema. Owo wofa. Owo maame. Owo papa. Na se woman ni jaye adwuma. Na bibi esi. Na ye quantify ni bre no in monetary terms What was why we be national service for 90 years.
Over. Their worker no.
I know some the entire yes sir.
There is some of our crowds who named the entire so me can sir.
Now with your TV not here no. Onu ni.
Onu ni.
Your TV and say me what fast no.
I say. Me manu jai because
but say we are machoistic say.
There be any macho no. Well, e be said the American no.
Oba no is
hold on. Eh kasa. The American say, can make us be man jai no. And yes say, me be man ma hye say oh nyai.
O kasa da me interpret.
No, and yes I be part.
Always see Obano as a partner.
And that is it's always be
in a business environment. Your partner is entitled to 50% share of any decision that you take.
That is exactly so.
You always
that's correct.
Obano with good decisions. When your decision is good, Obano will follow. And now I shall say, Onya Yajuma.
And I say, Manka say, Michelle.
No, Cassa, Quaya, Fasua, your household.
Good.
So now, say, wo, who catch up, say, net teacher for some me what fast say. Yatete, ne yiri, say, one no, or your teacher ni. Now, one children, Qualadi and Chilomunyansa. Some Quada Jimmy Baby, or my way, because we didn't answer it.
And Yanisa. So,
open so by self-sufficient.
What find your bonnet at all? And it's American son and your bonnet because now so money is self-sufficient. I want a baby wow, regardless of say, Obanu did this will be level be a Yesu say, Nini a risk na ye can be no. Who's a Quamana say, Obanu crowd of your baby, baby, crown, no, I call Nanka, ye. It will better answer Quamana the mine as or set Nanka, a ye, but then your son, I be my dream on as a socker, a ye, 100%.
Or say, Obana can say you,
as you say,
or say it's not only death, sickness can set in. So many factors. The husband can even lose his job. Immediately, like I said, Mammy, you did teaching was a shady or the num. Oh, no, a mamma, so who am I selfish? Papa,
yeah, it's what we say, no, we might be a mini any data, but we might be 100. A moon 99 will go against it. Oh,
yes,
a moon 99 on penny, but winning the woman is we analyze. Yeah, we analyze, share. Me wo yonko bi wo taifa ha ne yire ye adwuma wo Ecobank na ono yonko no so ye adwuma wo one of the ministries wo Ghana ha na winim wo makwa house girl wo butua ne ka yie okay relatively because be anu anaka tua ne but per Accra ha pass say akatu omde man dey at least utumi say eya ne sa kakra ne sa but edru level bi ne yire no ye adwuma wo Ecobank no one woman they agreed. So there's a bear man as suggesting comedian 1 weekend. No, sir. Or person a year jai a year bank a jumano. Na ordinary coffee because now one moon one more tenacity saying. And we say, ne year if you and a woman in our cobe you reno. A car one mobile way children a year more than a car and a year in the jay one by Manusi. Manusi.
Maybe count chrome ni baby as a match.
Okay.
Mamintio.
Ain't he?
Pabna radio.
Ain't it one more?
I'm not catch me off as no.
ni krom ni
Dabi
nyansa sam ne da say no na me guso make
initial wo ka so won kan nyansa sam
ya kudio
Dabi na ava me kan nyansa sam
wo nim so obe ka be fa busi wa ho ani aga me hwa no na mo
o papa jaja so ofa me kan nyansa sam na me ka say kwa bia
ba ko na o ka say me yiri ja
me ka say no me say me manager you should understand because me say hold on
anyway
me say I decided
if I'm me fast no okay me wa fast my Jerry so who were reshi mu say me bibia wo na me de machiri gya wo wonim say radio so kra me ni wa wonim makoma mu say wo na me de machiri gya wo ana me boa
I over
ene nyina say me ni wa say me ni gidie wo mu so wo yenyansane a me fa machiri nya wo na observation a my ya me ka kire on say on radio what I can someone say oba ye lower than you as the Bible would portray no ya dia ya na ntwa yi e ma na me ye mema e ma ni hwa ye mema ma se ma na me pese me ma wote ase ya ne say me observe wo say we a leader and wo ba ne hye wase na enso so the way you see expressing on am obi to one man na ye ne say ebi a bepai obehye ne yire so ebi say haya na yete na aka kire me say oyiri kodwumba kura wo sesen anya me desment me anka nkire wo sesen oba bibire a enya de papa jano na oba na onya so ohun faso de mu de wo mu ane say nya gidie wo oba ne mu ikwabena no kofa angle bi baaye angle no de baaye no kire say afi wo be ye no abetena wo kon so ti wo be ka bie no some men pesa me rebe hu nti na me kan say be ka nyansasemu but generally no we will be am do unim say wo na me chiri jawo why ite man nya wo
sa nsisi na wo kan kra no me ya ka kire me say me chire duane a medi kra say me manage kitchen say me chire duane a medi
jano
Papa.
Seriously.
Papa.
Abi yes and you imagine.
Papa tie.
Papa me chire duane a medi.
Dear woman ni. Yene matran de kan ya ware o. Aware asem no. Obia na ne formula. Aware asem enye pe. O baby ada. E ma enye mistake in this way ho. Statement me make yes say. Me ma me yiri jaya de kire no. I made that statement. Yes, me share man ka say me share me yiri no.
You resolve say
okay, I can rephrase it. Me no say no na say go be decided not to even agree.
Me man ni jai
na me can say me man ni jai no, but in any way say me say can me explain it further. Na can maybe o better mas be. So o better no o wa fa esa na akwa esa wa maka asem a akwa esa be de share ma so, but that is not the case.
That is not what you think.
That is not the case.
But obi ofie onya chance and can't my own clarify. But obe running with what you said.
Not came o kind of see for.
It did be a dem person me DJ wan say let it become a joint decision.
That is what we always do. But we said the other time I make a choice say o refer say make us say me yiri kodwoma na me me yiri ko there are two instances ya turn no nipa no kra na em be kan wa kra sometimes go say wa na ya hwe nipa na ode teller machine no e bo no ama no obo no ama no bro so 95 cedis
yes
enti me je ye no na oba no kra ka so oho kra ha wo pesa de na me se chale me check ye ko ke na me check ye na 95 cedis aba beto so se me free na me kokodru me free adwuma na me kodru fie a I want to know say enkwada kra wo fie na aduane be no omudi ni yie eyade a me de ahye me ho ama naka ho say say mitim nya sa updates no e wo fie before the next day am every vie iti ano ne say bia wo show ba na na say wonji oba ni ana say bia wo asa bibia wo pese wo fie mo but rather you want to take a responsibility
okay
ebetimi aboa na wo no why every well informed well updated awo fie ho it is a whoopie na ebisa question awo fie you are the head of the family
okay
ehemitirim it whoopie you know exactly what is really happening in the house.
Ukrum ni baby asama etro no e. Ofiri dwaben. Na we would be man ye adwuma bank. Ena oba na ye adwuma bank. Ena be man no based on asama kan ya so mumie no koba say no. Na be man no suggest say oba no nya ye adwuma. Na omuntimi focus enhwem kwala no. Na oba na omuji mortgage no was secured on a bear man of bank na no ye adwuma no and omode man no and oba no kan say onyai adwuma na oye and na eye asem ema abusua tena so na de ma bear man te no ho ase eye oba ni nua bear man bie na no ka kire bear man say oni authority say obeka kire ne yire say ono onyai adwuma na omu nyina aspire to be at the pinnacle at the top of omu profession it said ono bear man pedia onyai adwuma na onye store no a ono so oba na nye no na onhwe say nkwala no do mbeko school na emum de oba no ba fi a obehwe omaduane no amu ni bibia obaje de say it was less than 6 months na be man ye adwuma wo bank de ani egu no ye dom kokko ka CBG ho no na de ani egu no ye na e man no elusu
beige capital
they been already be man lusu na adwuma oba de free dwabe ho e ba ne say wa ye dem ka say wa be nkyire bank konto mu ho no oba de free dwabe enti be man lusu na adwuma no ene ye dom ko ka CBG ho na be man no CBG yes I lay them off oba na say mo ka kire me ne say hey senka mi daya ka sem be aggravated o e je say senka be dobro e die ntina be dobro a se sia no bank wo kura no omuntimi a be ma no enya adwuma no omuntimi afford mortgage no omo changing kwalani school omo taking certain decisions still omuntimi afford mortgage no into omu fee no is under threat no can't with the chairman o ka kire me no na nyam wayi bi amfa ma na me hwe nanim so imagine say be man na ko lose adwuma yi e na ho kire we yaba supposed to say enko ba no voluntarily o jai adwuma no e na nkasem we see wo be man side ho e no so lose asem no ha sa be man no sa wade no enka be yeden
ofanke be jija
ebejija na se ne sen ene begu no so ase ne sen
ofa good year engu bate bejija sade na nke mu dete no
uka se brebi mbetra se na me ka se middle level income earners we say yes a statement to a righteous indignation say wo mo ho kire wo mo pa na mkrofo mortgage say it was that asem na inform me na o te se mi nua ba ofri dwaben
ofa nke bejija e kire se na ayi wadame sabi yankoti edromra eno ane ahahan he awade mu be da sika nimu a oh afa forget se sika ni fie wanomu a dabi oba no hu se kusie chacha woni mfaso dabi ofa
sewa sema woken yen minimu de say when we take decision ne say obema no take decision ne say onya adwuma no ebreben because they are ken enya one of decision say wo sorry prekope e da sorry ya na wo yire adwuma o ye no wakọ ka kire ne say adwuma no bisusu say wo be jai gwadwuma yi na alternative source ni that isn't the case enya sa na say kokoba
okay
so they say it should be one nimienu madwen ho and na alternative no kra no ba activate e no answer oba activate alternative no
yeah
na mo really alternative no concurrent with oba na adwuma ye na mo plan mo ho and we said this time e dey be susu say bi e bedru mo nyina no mo agree say way
edru stage bia
no
no matter what mo worry the do level bia mo mienu nyina ma mo nye obi adwuma at a point I was say baako e shas ye mom so mo adwuma na baako enso ye obi adwuma e ma mo de bebe kam enti mi gusu ti
yeah eti sa transition no e na make am wan say meti we no say bia butubru ana bema beka say bia oba ni njaye adwuma chenchene a to the extent say we na kwanya nkonyasie no we kwa na ntisa nka kwanya nkonyasie because that decision when you a bedroom decision between a husband and a wife so ba no etimi of good reason and now wo be ma no so utimi convince oba no good reason enti a wo pese onjai na adwuma no na oba no so utimi kire odi enti a enti say onjai adwuma no within a period of time ama set ama mo ho a then you are agree to we kwa na nya asem a etisa nka ba abonten ma external family bem na to the extent say bema ni nua bema sorry bema na contact
ba no disagree say onu na beja ye adwuma ama ya hwe nkwala no in this disagreement no bema ni did not take kindly to say
very good
and na me yire na me suggest say ja ye adwuma
it a when you ohye no
no and ma ebusua no ebe mu it going forward no oba bi obebo akwan mu bia no men suggest man say wonya ye adwuma
dabi
e wo de ja no
na no obi ante ono antake decision because say asamo nso ba chire no a na wo kasa wo na wo si wonjai na adwuma on kasa mo na mo ka obekasa wo na wo si wonjai na adwuma ni asa bagde tia calculate ni nyina ade afiri wo mantani say asamo ma da wa ho
wafa you know what the year can ma make can we no for instance to say adichire di American South Africa and there was an opportunity for teachers somewhere 2013 2014 enti obi created the opportunity no na oye say challenge us okra wife be teacher ni it mama work man na onko kira de e wo ho said the offer no kan nyina so it was very good yet to one among ama ye nyina agree say ade will be a very good offer. Could you believe say after the acquisition of visa all the necessary documentation I got 2 weeks to say my wife call South Africa and I'm a brother penning a friend me from US so come did him na so say and about beto but as some of my brother na catch them no in fact now a very difficult situation to transmit as some of our catch them no to my wife say a bit disallow and say a man in South Africa to teach. So it was one of the difficult decisions. Meanwhile, when you say at the end of the day, no, one day I'm just no, my brother person in the casa, and my brother explained the reason tia on the economy kuma na my wife. So better than going on to Ghana ha a man in South Africa. There were about 15 people, and that reason no. Came to pass 2 years afterwards. Nipa wo mo call ya na fe dru baby no na wo mo family. It is so wo mo epesika wa ha. No mo dom ko form free South Africa. Edom back. Virtually wo mo nyina ba be dru Ghana. So I say this here. Etiana usually no. The woman say it is so munya understanding. Na at least nipa no sutimi nyante ase hu say ade agwani nti. Eno ti na make say wa ade no. Entesa na ka epie mpo abonten. Because that decision we no emu no decision emu mabrabo aware no bi nka ho bio eje mu no pe futuo na manfo betimi dia ma mti na ntesa nka epie to the extent say na contract betimi akasa
point na be make ya na say onu oba no wo a partnership into oba no wo 50% of the decision that you make in the household the na pesa mekan and na wonso and na me de machire beja wo. And I want you to say, we are objective and fair to all sides, both a man and a bema.
But as I say, he painted the picture as if say the American said may share maso. I don't want that picture to be painted. Me persons have picture to be painted. But bia said ya meka no na ebe yi obi adwen said ya kana e kasa but then yes bia me share say wo be share nipa no say chinchina that isn't the situation.
The communication may be different from the intent and internet ma ye din be brema wo kasa no because do baby on mo what we communicate may not necessarily be what your friends your intention no wo bie wa no a wo kasa no milliseconds na make can say no na the next set of asama mekano na form or madwene mu. And the clear point I want to make and say you go far on radio. That is my view. And going far on radio, always make sure say you communicate clear intentions say we are fair to both for Barney Bema. The name person mekano. Why?
Ofay enka one will say a good obey power or yere na ono nso begina ne na so e wo sikase mu ase daati wonni wono mo a won continent na nkofo gate echi menim obi no ye adwuma o baabi a wo firi mu no na yere teta baabi a ye mu bi aya ye kodidie anaso wo mu si yata fa wo no obekọ no what gate na no wonti na mete he yo na ampa what chen wa kire se obenya kakra enti eye yan power ma no na yan sra ma no so se sabi o emfa wo gina pem bia wo bedru esa mudi buo ahobrase e de mamukunu nom emfa wo sika dodo a wo Unya sikasa den, it doesn't change you to become a man. Still when you oba. Enti aya obiya won level owo. Say uradi ya madum mpona se minya sika che be ma no a. Enkyira say we ye be ma na be ma no ye oba. Still we ye oba. Ofa emema bebre wo pepa se enkom be boa wo mo yine nim no wo mo atumi agina wo mo na so. Enso Eye no wawura si be ma no kon ho. Eye no ode be ma nani onyam tuturi fam. Ebe na be ma no kura nunu ho se. O ma na yire saa opportunity no. But nkanya bad. Esan se de bi asemunti. Ye nimbe bi no mu a ofa ewuo nti be ma no firi mu a. Enda nkwala no adane asresrefo bebre jai school. Ebi aye drop out. Ebi ejuma kura wo sua wajai. Ebi kura tisi ya di womu kojina asore ni ya sresre skadi ama womu ya sa wo ye be ma pa na senka wo ani a uta wani be se wachi a ewa abusuam abusuafo no wo te wa no mo ye na bra na bra no sa bra woni wokim wansha odi adefo krampo betu mafrifi o odi adefo ne nsanka ne nanka obeba betu ma ene wo yire gu abonten na wono a ne nsanka ne nanka kofa wono ne yire ne ma aba betena ho esida entinka eye yanhye wo mu nkuran yempusi wo mu nkwanim ewa abrabom asetenam sikasemu but aya memu wo mu wura mfiri wo mu ho se sabi se asia so obeda ne mampam kura ne duade epoma no
to kwamra de umu ane se enye wo yiri ni nti ana wo ma yiri na di ye na wa empower no eye wo manti nti notwithstanding say obehuru etia wo konso no wo se egusua na wo ma nya de se wonya to the extent say wo kura no onante wo so na se wa ma wo ma ansresre ama wo ma ni hia wa achieve wo objective because the woman say or the show ma na wo honna so ade a ya kakra ne say be ma unya bi ensososo na o manti na oba atwa wadapa it would senka ono na wanya bi ama no na otwa wadapa ama ne ntwa wadapa at wanya ma nkwala no de gina so de twa wadapa no oba bia so ni hono mu a wo obebua na me na di yie a se wonni ho ana se wonne wo kura ni ho bie mu a de wo ma ni nya ye no obema wo ma no a benefit omfa ma be ma foforo ama ne nkonkodi sabe mpredu asan wenye jimi fo sa no no enti let's focus on the nkwada ni benya afterwards rather than say oba huru gina wo konso enti wo betena se amena tena wo konso abena ntu betena se so oba ne tena wo konso
oh ofasa
ye pe na pe ba bi fa
enna mom de enna de sa na aba mom wo ye
ukoba no abuza
na wa no besi kura na menam no ho
aha wo mu pa ko dada so hu no eye akwa ye fe do kwabra jesi no at London na wone mia me president me wafa asia coast was he enu an se me jiji no sa kuta phone no sa ai o pastor yakọ o na so ham say o no about the ntokwada gingam no no asore no asi abontere was nkama anya sa amna fa ntokwada gingam ya kamiti me nko Adam say agos tie me if you no kro ukuta phone na emfi no men ne nko biem bi wonu mo no say winipa no oneti ya na ni tie ikodo no wonti me nsore nko no na special assistant no Daddy. Abena. Eya de papa. Politicians na omofa special assistants no. Eya de papa.
Ofan anya de bonimum. I say etu anya piafo atumeto. Aduma no wonko a wontumi nya ni nyina. Enkrata asem o yese fa we bra. Owura kura be firi niama bebre. Inti aya na yes ubenya special assistant ya omo beboa wo daada dwumadie especially say we obi a we busy pa ofa nipedua no o stress no bebre a wan sha u bewu agya ho
special assistant for say bia no say driver near wo drive wo yi bie
yeah special assistant
what are the dangers involved
ofa danger ewom ne say so who special assistant wo ko ono na ekro wo ba ono na eba wo kan sika na nituem eduru ba bi kura wo so won kan bi mawo na wo kan sika ni bi mawo me ye project bi wa ha je kona fakoma mesi no me ye filling station bi wa ha je koma contractor no me sida bi wa hanom ama me girlfriend no je koma de wo sida no me sida bi wa ha ma me yene ne me ma je koma wo mu aha kwacha se eyi edan na me si me sidi ama ha no wo mu gusu usia kwacha se ofa ofui krampo hwe na ba obu ne pa
ofui
o hwe na ba obu ne pa sa nioma wo ye nyina na ni tuam de akwaso nyina wo hu ebi kura wo honom a sabi o mu girlfriends no special assistant kura na ma wonum sika oh je kwama me girlfriend no o de usi mi ape obegina hanom atwa wo je kwama no ebi kura dan a wo mu rent ye no special assistant fo ya na rent ye na ofa wo chicha bebrebe na amba wutiri mu da say special assistant ayi mami si 2-bedroom house emfa mawo
o deserve there
oh of what deserve na say oh yes of what deserve enti say dia wo koba nyina na ni tua na say oh ofa say ya wa ha na ya parliament kwa drobes ya wo mu chi MPC ebi kura tumi so ase o makatua ye de ma wo mu bosome no sika ketu ebi kura tere se o mu tu kwa ko ba bi ya na MPC no agi hotel no wo mu ada na o mu da kam eduane kura o mu bedi no aya na eye den o wo fa wo ton be ye easy Oton be easy because onya ho mfaso bia na ofa onim say edidija di mu na nenam
okay
edidi jadi mu na nenam enti sɛ wo special assistant ya ɔno na onkrata wɔ kyerɛ ye we ma me wɔ yɛ sika kɔgye bra kɔ bank no wɔkɔ fa we kɔma we no wɔkɔ ye we no wɔ yɛ na sɛ duru baabi a na ne wa pota ama na fie nti wɔ ti so wadi bom
Mark Jerry so Mark and Fanny the Emre Maggie what are the dangers of special assistant for especially political appointees any special assistants or monomonam
what special assistants in the day on say adwuma bia no say adwuma no otutu wani a e say VIP crowd we we hear special assistants e wo ho enti about political space no dey a de tie bia obi hi obi a obetima aboa because politically no at the moment I was our office no otum say na normal bebre wo ho a aye more adoso anye ni nyina na obeti won sa betimi asoso enti ye de wo hi obi se obeka ho na ye kan ni nyina na so no dangers na wo ho but you can also do away with it.
What are some of the dangers that I'm recalling?
Oh yeah, dangers in the say nipa ne ben say na kwabena kan kwabena wo bobo ni nyina so because nipa no ben it will no me et say wo personal driver
wonim say
personal driver
oh ye bebre nyina poison no wonim say for special assistant
send the same ho
special assistant ne di abrante ne nchen the special assistant ne komo die and one assistant producer e di nkomo one assistant producer e di nkomo no use the word poison and the host to ne teye ade chen ye na host no de to radio so ka na special assistant no e ko report ma aye assistant producer no the previous host no ne wo ho ade a woni asomasi waye yi ade ne ho ya pa on fa telephone frame ma me fa bie mu da aye assistant producer no na dam for ne special assistant special assistant na no nyedu e John special assistant ni di abrante ne nchen no so ka say an poison bi kura na ya poison no a on say no na assistant producer no e man the host the tey ya host no dey ama Ghana ye ho no what sort of assistant producer what sort of special assistant ne ho so wa no enyedu Abna
I just saw Coco din komo na enam so ma say no ma ni pie
one say the piano so nim e din komo e te san ni passment wa ba ni passment wa ye say but in common no and a special assistant ni bie na no omo ye mrantie me no baako should be ashamed of himself into no odi ni nchen no na use that word actually assistant producer no and assistant producer no e man host ne teye and a host no e call to town and a friend assistant producer no I friend special assistant no Echo complain niama original host Sabian Kameno wa hai. Nanka previously no you were with Ebia Tikasiye.
Yeah.
Right? And my express o kan say o pese o ba be di me nchen. Na Tikasiye apene so. And I be di me nchen. You be di me nchen no. And na political leaders say nimu omo yi. Am producer no the key role of a producer it producer no and wo e be di nkomo.
Yeah.
And now obey your reference to say I didn't the poison. Oh, maybe I said free bar. And now wo Uma me tea. Apparently could send the speaker phone. Uma me tea say poison and I had the pass message. And the idea chain ya me the show no. And now special assistant no our cancer natural no. I could catch the ticket say Majeria ya dia me na me ya na wunim say enkomo a me ni die no ana akwa kan cha adakabra de radio so no na there's no way amano beto na no mu bie mu da on frem so ma me mfa da opa me chokura me ntie da ana tikese e frɛ wo no kasa kyerɛ wo sa menye sa eno no ni bra ya bre yo enti producer fo no assistant producer fo no Yeah, one then. And a politician tell me as a special assistant and who ya says Uncle Ankwana ya dear chow or ya do Omuke Husiano. I will who chomu norma
of a producer no. Producer and said down hunu. Won ya membebre nchen. I say asamna ye adie mienu. I say special assistant for no. Omu ni nipa na kwana krana.
To account be
yes. But producer there sabi ye say awase a ye bedi wa ha ye pon a obi akọ.
And akwadwo da me so oti bibia so be pesa me meti because e newsworthy.
Yes. Enti aya na producers ne ye nkita hodie no enye da de te say special assistant ya one ne boss be wo wa te say
Etembusa say type of special assistant be na befa obi ana no nye du ana
wofa ayese wonya special assistant ya oye trustworthy but ni nyina so kase no so gina wo so how a ube treat special assistant no there be some penny say omu appoint aduane pedi kura wo fu abodwe sempo chan ni wura no
timbiem
wofa empeni say omu appoint aduane pedi a otumi fu abodwe sempo chan ni wura no ankasa say special assistant no say wan hye ni yie ana say wan treat ni yie ya o wafa wadanso na egu abonten ya wo special assistant bi wo hwa
nkanka wo hunu wontwom no
yes said ye omu ni omu boss tie no e difficult pass ne boss na wukura wo se wanyane ne boss yi ade we power
ta so usu ni eye Sir John
yes ade we pa wu se ne boss na diboni na drobani na je ama no eye me ya me na me ye nya me boss wa but obi wo hwa se ye banin chebe kase onton ne boss maye 100,000 Ghana cedis kuro beton no
e se dosu
ebinum so tirimu aden dodo boss fo ni bebre tirimu aden wo mo special assistant so enti ama wo mo ton ye easy emu wo mo ton ye easy aya na mama wo mo nso ani age kakra said ye be ya obetumi protect wo
udidi amane bi ni ofasi ya so wotamfo kra udidi na wo mani bi dia wa unhunya na hi da bia didi jani mu na nenam esa ye ton wa obeton wo simple se sika we ne yesi wo meje na won fa bibi nwu aduanim sika we ne yesi wo meje on fa nsuo nwu aduanim obeje de agum because wo hu mfa so bia nkanka wo hunu se de wo no obra no etumpon
yes
na sika bo akwam
yes
se sika bi kura be na koyi Africa de mu biaba
sika wo kan eniama wudi sika bi ye girlfriend ni atambe ye 50,000 na odi amano na oba pa oso eni yo ewrade adoma no pa brantem
the minister ba ko man security coordinator hunu na ye ne baby and girlfriend ye or call London man security coordinator so de oba na eko no we ya de papa
but offer in other words the year kan special assistant for a year kan ye djuma ye won nanfofo ya manyo sem ne ye djuma no so dia e ka ho a wo say e your hall mark ne say wo de wasoto fom na wo de wasoto fom no say nipa so ne be kan asem akire ho obi no e magician asem ne fiti ya na na mum na ba bia loophole no say e bia nipa no sabio is trust issues or ana obeka asem ne baby kro obegina obeka eye sa ansem no so say the city because
special assistant can say nipa na poison no you are likely to believe it.
Oh yes.
No, whether you are likely to believe it or not, no. Wo no wabo amane. And na on kan kire wo say fa asem no fa kotum from him.
Kan kire me. Say wonyo na ade abetum from him. Wo na so mate say na ekoso.
Honestly speaking, me special assistant eni nkomo enka such a sensitive matter in chem na me bebo me host amane because that isn't the part of the production. So they say me producer me special assistant no din komo na eno na enye papa no Okay, breaking news. So many special assistant mean we feed him information. Some information no measure double check and validate it. And so later no say and we be here say me bo me host na mania. But bona mania because e bia na ya yonkofa between me and the special assistant no. Inti no confine in me. And no beka sa asem na de kire me no waka kire me a wan kan kire me say Mark eti gbe mu betimi aye bibia fa ho. Na no kra no when the host na dwenwu yie a validate this information as special assistant in the amount no you correct and I correct and now no pay say BBC now no pay BBC ya obi send very sensitive of information or the amount information or the amount no so chale say na be say into information we menya ne den and the nipa ne ka kire me say metimi de akọ is not the answer. The part of your penny panzo wa bemu and all the information na mame. It mean the duty bears on me to validate, to double check, say some information is correct, but not necessarily say or say an answer now they call and also they are wrong. It's and your bonnet says special assistant to be or no be one
only a special assistant. Now opinion no say wayare and komosa who could dear catch ubi say say na no emfaso de be na wo so
na wafa wan kan na nka ye bat wafa ye woni pa bi wo ha un say a trust issue so
na we what me special system na ye
of a depend so no anu oni ni
di nkomo no because no so ye one of the factors
Jerry di nkomo ana say wo fa na me ni wo di nkomo I say me respect you na me di wudi inti me ka asɛm akyerɛ wa me ka ni nyinaa but sɛ wo koyi me ma ɛna wo bɛha me kakra because sɛdeɛ na me gye wo di paa no a na me ne wo ka na wo sade akɔ mu wɔ bi no ɛno na yɛ ana ɛbɛha agyere kakra but special assistant for no they know a lot about omo boss no omo nim bebre fa omo boss no ho unless say boss of one on so ebe fa adwene bi say nsɛm nyinaa na
penny ba ko na dia ba so fa special assistant is very vital when it comes to human activities. Every leader works with a team of people. However, political assistants can be suicidal these days. Nipa ye bad, nipa ye fucking. Even God works with angels in heaven as special assistants. The boss has to decide whether he prefers constant type of assistant or servant type of assistant. According to Rizzi, it should be about say ohunu no mebim, but the dear no so nsa kai. So ohunu. Enti ubusa ho say ene ahwe be no se ehwe say yanko enti mamenye interview ba ko bi mra. Na Abranti or your Minister of Finance. No, or your special assistant, Sabi, that special assistant for EB. Now, or your lawyer to the then finance minister. And then Nante, Ekoya, Nene. What's our question there? Now, question there, na Wababe University lecturer. Or your political science lecturer at the University of Education, Winneba. Into your friend, Dr. Abdul Hakim. Yanen Chichun Komakakra. Sir, John Dramani Mahama. Osina na Jane ena oneneko ene na Jane open number aye popular pa ebisi 70 ebisi 72 ebisi 74 nimu di ntia 71 memu 73 memu na we 70 we 72 we 74 na Jane to open date of birth awunya ene kasa tentini ama yetimi suspend the parliament nyina wo ho afi so de enim se entwa so a afi various newspapers publish a mako eye miensa eye at Ablikuma West Mrashobe Dwani I mambema na eye na atoshi Makado eye akosie frima the ni Dr. Abdul Hakim eni nkoma kakra na since say ono so no oye special assistant for a longest time eye a former Ghanaian minister for finance, no. You must have a special assistant for Kamakakra. Dr. Abdul Hakim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Adakabre.
Na utimi ka twi ne kakra na still out da hon ka brofo na.
Brofo please. If necessary, I can.
Brofo na please. Yeah. Obi a wo firi kpembe. Gonja ni abranti abetna sante abetna nkran. Adi fufu utimi nka twi ne still. Now, issues about political assistance to political appointees.
Yeah.
You had been a political assistant to a political appointee, a minister for finance, for a very long time. How do you see it now, the sort of crop of people who are serving as political assistants to political appointees these days?
Well, at Akabre, as academics, it's difficult for us to pass judgment on the work of individuals, especially when it has to do directly with the person's personality. So I would be very happy if the question is directed on technical issues relating to special assistance and trying to pass a judgment on the performances of those individuals.
Certainly, what are the dangers involved in political appointees employing special assistants in their performance of duties?
I don't think there are dangers. What is important is the trust between the figurehead, if it's the case of the minister or the president, and then the individual. And I don't think any person would want to bring along with him or work with somebody very closely when it is the case that the person doesn't have a lot of confidence and trust in the loyalty of that individual. So once you are comfortable with the loyalty of that individual and you know the nature of individual that the person is, I don't think there is any danger. And as I'm saying, it's a question of loyalty and trust. And once those loyalty and trust is there, combined with the expertise that the person is bringing to support the public official, I don't think there is any danger with the question of special assistance.
Now, John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress has settled on Nana Jane as the running mate. Ula Balu, but it is settled down. Yet we have the majority leader impugning on the age of Nana Jane and thinking NDC does not have a succession plan. What do you make of that?
Well, if he talks about the age issue, and I have a difficulty with that in the sense that if you go to Malaysia, the Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad became a Prime Minister on second occasion at the age of over 90 years. If you go to the U.S., the current American President Joe Biden, we all know his age, towards the 80s. The one who is threatening to take over from him, Donald Trump, is about 77 years. And if you come here, our own president is octogenarian, is about 80 years. So the question of age, for me, is not an issue. But if you talk about a difficulty that we have as a nation in terms of the 4-year mandate that the President Mahama is taking, because obviously, if he wins, he's going to serve for 4 years. I think there is a problem there that we cannot shroud in under the carpet. There is a problem with succession after the 4 years, and there is a tendency that there could be a serious turmoil within the NDC if that is not handled well. But for the issue of age of the running mate, I don't think there is a problem there.
Dr. Hakim, are you suggesting that the majority leader impugning NDC does not have a succession plan is a valid point?
Well, I don't think he is a part of the internal happenings of the NDC to know that. But in the case for issues relating to age that he raised, I don't agree with him there. But as I said, and I'm repeating again, a 4-year mandate for John Mahama would, after the 4 years, there would definitely be some challenge that the party will face in selecting another person to succeed from him. As to whether they have a plan or they don't have, you have to be somebody internally before you can know what is happening. Either she could be in a position to take over, as is the tradition of the NDC, that they try to prop up the running mate or the vice president to take over from the president, or they may have somebody in the waiting after the elections, probably from the actions and probably the positions that the person may gain and the attention he may gain from the top echelon of the party and the government. Probably we can assume from there whether that person is somebody to replace Mahama, or she could be the person who can do. At this stage, we will not be in a position to know. And power being a very intoxicating, there is a possibility that it is the case that somebody else is favored to take over from her, and she begins to have an interest, because from what I know or I heard is that she may not have an interest in going for the presidency after Mahama. This is a privileged information I know.
That is about the area we are heading towards, Dr. Hakim.
Yes.
If indeed, at age 70,
Yes.
she's a running mate to she's a running mate to John Dramani Mahama, and then after 4 years, she's say a little under 75 years, and as you are telling us, she has no interest in advancing further to be considered as flag bearer of the NDC.
That's what I heard. That she may want,
based on what you heard, she may not advance further to be considered as flag bearer of the NDC.
Exactly.
At this stage, we don't know, because we are not part of the internal setup, so we don't know what plans they have. So if someone outside says that, from the look of things, looking at the tenure of Mahama, if he gets the chance, looking at the age of the running mate, it is not likely NDC has a succession plan in future. How can that be the basis for the hula baloo, the brouhaha that we heard of?
That individual cannot make a conclusive position there, because if she were 75 years, she can still contest. And at that time, if Mahama should win, there will be a huge incumbency advantage that she may not have to struggle, probably if she were out of power. And a lot of the campaign would be done, with, what incumbency can do in our electoral processes here. So with that huge incumbency advantage, at the age of 75, 77, when we have a precedent, we have evidence of what is happening in the U.S., Donald Trump, according to the latest polls, is a little ahead of Biden if elections were to be held today. And Biden himself is also standing at age 80 plus. So for somebody who should be 75 or 77 coming to contest, if she indeed wants to contest, I don't think there's a difficulty. Where a difficulty is, as you are saying, if another person says that, given what I've seen, I can mount a challenge against her and succeed, and the person mounts a challenge on a sitting vice president, and then that, if the individual also should be somebody very close to the president, that could turn into a very huge crisis for the NDC to handle. And for me, that is where the issue is. But to say there is no succession plan based on the age of the running mate, I have a difficulty in agreeing with that proposition.
Now we are also being told by newspaper reports that Dr. Muhammad Bawumia may be considering 3 women to choose from as running mates. So what is happening about women becoming running mates to men?
Well, we need sanity in the political process. Women should also be given appropriate position to play, appropriate role to play. So if it is the case that he wants to follow the role of the decision that Mahama takes, he wants to repeat that same decision for the MPP, I don't think there is a difficulty. But what we have to do, what we have to look at is the expertise, because any running mate is supposed to add a certain value to the electoral advantage of the flag bearer. What is it that those running mates are bringing on board? Are they going to add value in terms of elections itself, or in terms of the credibility of the candidate, or in terms of performance after elections? Because you could select a running mate whose role may be to complement you when you are governing, not necessarily for elections, but to complement you. So what is it that they are bringing? Are they bringing some advantage in terms of the electoral process, or they are bringing some expertise that Mahmoud Bawumia may need? These are the permutations that we have to look at before we can pass a judgment on whether any of those three women are qualified or are ideal for him to select as running mate.
So, what value, in your estimation, with women playing the running mate slot bring to the table?
Well, we have what we call a liberalized and globalized world now, where women are beginning to get attention for high political positions. So you are going to have a situation where the world of feminism, the domestic constituency of feminism across, especially the universities, are going to support it. And then the foreign institutions whose contribution towards our governance process cannot be underestimated are also going to be comfortable with that position. And other women groups across the country and beyond. And then also, if it is a case of the constituency, when I say the constituency, I don't necessarily mean where the person comes from or where the person votes or where the person has its support. But I mean in terms of voting or in terms of identity, either tribe or religion, ethnicity or whatever. But constituency in terms of where the profession that the person is coming from. If it's a lawyer, there's a tendency that you have a lot of network within the profession. If it's a university professor, as you have Nana Jane Mensah, where you have a lot of people supporting that person from that particular constituency. So it all depends on the backgrounds of all those people who are there. And once they are selected, they are going to draw some support from those constituencies, apart from the constituency which comes from the person's identity, which also cannot be discounted in African politics. Issues of identity, issues of tribe, issues of religion cannot be discounted. Although it's not something that is good in itself, but you cannot discount it. Where the person is he from north or from south or from the middle belt, is he an Ashanti or a Ga or an Ewe? In the case of Mahmoud Bawumia from the north, with all certainty, he's not going to select somebody from any of the northern territories. So obviously, you are looking at Ashanti or BA or Eastern Region or Greater Accra. These are the areas. But then, if you look at the strength of the MPP, where it is, you cannot have a Bawumia who is from a particular area of the country, which is not strongly supporting MPP. And then you select a running mate who is not from the what we call the World Bank, any of the World Bank. You have a bigger World Bank, which is Ashanti region, and a subordinate one, which is Eastern region. With any planner, any strategist will tell you that the best place for Bawumia to select a running mate at this stage is either Ashanti or Eastern region. But Ashanti stands tall, because if that doesn't happen, the friction, the friction and the fraction which is happening in the MPP. If that doesn't happen, they are going to have a lot of apathy, and apathy means a loss of votes. Apathy is like those who are apathetic to the elections, means that they are you are losing their vote to the point of almost a vote against you, because without an overwhelming support from Ashanti region, there is no way an MPP candidate can win an election. So anything that has to be done to stimulate the support from Ashanti region for a candidate for the first time from the northern region since 1992 for MPP should be done in order to secure that particular constituency, a traditional constituency. I mean, when I say constituency, I mean the general region for the candidate. Anything other than that is going to spell a disaster for the party.
Dr. Abdul Hakim of the University of Education, Winneba, looking at the demographics and listening to you carefully, is it about Dr. Muhammad Bawumia having to select from the Ashanti region or having to select a woman as a running mate?
Well, if you ask me, I'll say and if I were to advise him, I would prioritize a selection of somebody from Ashanti region than a woman. And if you get the two combined in one person, that can also be a bigger advantage. But an Ashanti regional candidate should be a priority. Anything less than that is going to create a lot of apathy. And given what is happening, the yellow supporters, the butterfly, given their very apparent presence in Ashanti region, anything less than getting an Ashanti to support him is going to spell a disaster for the candidate.
And how does the Yellow Army come in to reinforce or to consolidate or to stem the tide?
The butterflies, Alan's dominance in Ashanti region, and even across the country, cannot be discounted. Anybody who discounts, Alan's presence in the political terrain is doing it at his own peril. Because it's somebody who has been on the ground since 2001. Despite whatever people will say, any attempt at allowing Alan or relaxing for Alan to get into the process strongly is going to create a problem. And that could be aggravated by a refusal or failure to select somebody in Ashanti region as a running mate. The Yellow group led by Alan is a threatening group to the fortunes of the MPP, given the fact that there is always a problem of turnover when you have a government after 2 terms of 8 years. Since 1992, no government has been able to cross the 8 years. It's a combination of factors, economic factors, which are there, and then which has been exacerbated by what we saw in 2022 with the financial and economic crisis, which we have never seen since at least 1983 or thereabouts. Of course, now there is some sort of stability. But given the problem that we have, and the general problem of a turnover or crossing the 8, it will be a difficult episode for the candidate if strong attention is not given to Ashanti region. There's no doubt about that.
Finally, Dr. Abdul Hakim of the University of Education, Winneba. This idea of Ghana in 32 years grappling with the duopoly of the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party, and now the Yellow Army, the Butterfly, seeking to change the narrative for Ghanaians to see that there could be a third force beyond the duopoly. What do you say to that?
Well, NDC and MPP have dominated for the past 30 years. And it's been a difficulty for any third force because politics has to do with structure. The people who go to vote in some of the constituencies have to be carried in motorbikes, bicycles, tractors, and etc. So you have to have that kind of infrastructure across the country before you can be able to gather people to come and vote. And the third forces don't have, by virtue of the fact that they don't have resources, as simple as that. And they've not existed enough for them to be able to build those structures. Elections, especially presidential elections, according to the latest study which was done, presidential elections, for a candidate to be successful in presidential elections, the candidate needs about $100 million for a single presidential election. All those third forces, where are they going to get that kind of money? When we are aware what the kind of things that we call patronage politics, where people have to be stimulated financially before they come out and vote. So where are the third parties or the third party going to get it when it is that he doesn't have or they don't have a structure and a financial muscle to be able to put up a structure that can compete with the two. These two parties have tested power, and then they've also enjoyed a lot of widespread support. MPP from ideological side since the 1950s, from the NLMs and the Progress Party up to where we are now. So they have that support there. And coupled with the fact that they have also been in government. The NDC, from its military background to the civilian background, has also been in power for a long time. They have a lot of resources. They have structures on the ground. All the executives that you see, regional executives, constituency executives, and national executives, all of them are mobilizing forces. Elections are not won just by people going to vote, especially in the rural areas. People don't just go in and get up. Some even during the day of election, they go to their farm. So you need an infrastructure down across all the nook and cranny of the country to be able to bring those people, go and whip them out, stimulate them if they need be with financial resources, and get them out. So the simple reason why third forces have not been able to perform is that they lack this structure and they lack the financial wherewithal. And with that problem, you are definitely not going to be able to compete with the MPP. And so we are in with the MPP and NDC. That's why there are apparent lack of delivery in terms of policy. And the fact that we have been at the receiving end of wrong policies or lack of courage in governance. When we talk about both parties, you can't take away one and away. There's no courage in policy and policy implementation.
Okay, I thought I had finished with you, but then, Dr. Abdul Hakim, how, given what you said earlier about the movement for change, the Afrafranto, how do you reconcile that with your current comments relating to the duopoly?
Like, given what I said about what they can do.
Yes,
they can. The butterfly needs to get about 4% or 5% of the vote to create to have some sort of impact. There's no question of the butterfly winning the general election. Somebody will be deluding himself, or somebody will be hallucinating to think that the butterfly can win the general election. But they are in a position to get like 5% or 6%. And if that happens, then obviously it's going to affect the MPP more because the butterflies are coming from the MPP. So once that happens, that is going to create a problem for the MPP. But the question of winning an election and overturning the dominance of the MPP and NDC, we are not there yet. And God knows when we'll be there because of the issues that I described earlier.
Dr. Abdul Hakim, political scientist from the University of Education, Winnipeg. We thank you so much this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Right. Abdul Hakim and Yatin Kano. But one Swatnasi, Nana Jima of the New Patriotic Party at Tanasi, Kingsley Amaliba of the National Democratic Congress at Tanasi. Now, John Mahama settled on a woman, MPP, Dr. Bawumia, boxed to go with a woman. So what is it about it? Demographically, a woman or Asante region for Dr. Bawumia?
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And no man better to me baba no one no. Twem so betu me. Hey, aso. Hey, now beka. Ya John to mami and sa duku portmanteau. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibian so beri ni wa warenia. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Oh, aso. Udan kwanu tumu ho. Me be mo anu so hye kura de aka ho. Wo hwe de wapi ho. O ka sa batete e da fom ho. This way chocolate drink.
Kra cha be pe baba ware.
Aso.
Ye fi say this way chocolate drink. Ya sorry no pa no ne yenom ye be hwe fridge nom no se snack ye nya hoho a no ne de serve wo mo ye didi wie ne ye pe bibia bogu ya de so a this way chocolate drink ne yenom and this way no ti ano a he se kire wom koko wom brick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ne so hye
this way chocolate drink
de wo hia ani so hye
FDA ahwe se adwede nkratoe mo agya tum se eye
cool, fresh and trendy with a new look. Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And you ma beto to dia me baba no hwade no. Hwem so betumi a. Hey, asew. Hey, now beka. Ya John to mami ensa duku portmanteau. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibian so beri ni waware ni a. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Oh, asew. Wo den kan no tumu ho. Me be mo anu nsu wo hye kura dia ka ho. Wo hwade a wapi ho. O ka sa batete. Eda fom won. This way chocolate drink.
Kratch obepe e baba aware yi.
Asew.
Ye fi ase this way chocolate drink ya sorry anopa no ne yenom. Ye bi hye fridge nom no se snack. Ye nya hoho a no ne de serve wo mo. Ye didi wie ne ye pe bibia bogu ya de so a. This way chocolate drink ne yenom. Ana this way no ti ano a he se kire wom koko wom brick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ne so se.
This way chocolate drink.
De wo hia ani so se.
FDA ahwehwe sɛ adwadie nkratoe mu agye atom sɛ ɛyɛ.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And you ma beto to dia me baba no hwade no. Hwem so betumi a. Hey, asew. Hey, now beka. Ya John to mami ensa duku portmanteau. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibian so beri ni waware ni a. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Oh, asew. Wo den kan no tumu ho. Me be mo anu nsu wo hye kura dia ka ho. Wo hwade a wapi ho. O ka sa batete. Eda fom won. This way chocolate drink.
Kratch obepe e baba aware yi.
Asew.
Ye fi ase this way chocolate drink ya sorry anopa no ne yenom. Ye bi hye fridge nom no se snack. Ye nya hoho a no ne de serve wo mo. Ye didi wie ne ye pe bibia bogu ya de so a. This way chocolate drink ne yenom. Ana this way no ti ano a he se kire wom koko wom brick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ne so se.
This way chocolate drink.
De wo hia ani so se.
FDA ahwehwe sɛ adwadie nkratoe mu agye atom sɛ ɛyɛ.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Neat 100.9 FM. So any now and Wednesday, March 13, 2024. In the studios, Julius Nanajima of the New Patriotic Party and Kingsley Amaliba Haruna of the National Democratic Congress seated now. Right. Nanajima, Memoatana say.
Age offer.
Amaliba, Memoatana say.
Over Majoso.
Now, what is it about majority leader Kanya gets under the goats of a minority to the extent that now say you're suspended sitting cry?
Over Minchi na Minchi ya Tifo. Na Minchi ya Jima. Obeka say a brother President John Dramani Mahama name Prof. J. Nana Opukwajiman. Send a running mate towards 2020 elections. Na MPP amayukune yuhe say President Mahama didn't perform beba ombenya ne ho asemaka. But Mameno, despite almost her 40 years and more in public service, particularly in academia, and so obedi NDC amayukune nim say obesumo NDC amayukune nim under His Excellency John Mahama government as education minister. And you ma said you're conducting him as a public servant. Bra or bo subanya or danedi. By the co-opposition, President Mahama, a ton friend is on my bonnet chidom say, Franka 2 bedi echre, no mon ko a senior name or impim yununi adunu about to name. MP before Anyama men who say anka. But they engage in misogynistic attacks on her personality instead of her career and her service and her integrity and any truthfulness as a public servant. The person who led that charge was Chairman Untumi of the MPP in the Asante region. I recall late President Rawlings Yakopo for the currency and brand President Mahama Bo Prof. J. Nana Opukwajiman didn't say one person Oyene Franka 24 BDHD. As some Rawlings kind of said, when I got information that Prof has been elected as a running mate, I give my blessing because this is a woman of integrity. That's what General Rawlings said. Woman of integrity. Has her integrity, commitment, trustworthiness, patriotism, and honesty as a public servant been called to question? Of course, so share the code of conduct provided by the Constitution for public servant. A public servant must conduct him or herself in a manner that demonstrates a sufficient level of integrity. And one of the cardinal qualifications for election of lawyers, judges, and the person should be someone whose character is beyond, whose character is beyond a proven integrity. And this woman have distinguished herself along those lines. So, man, you for politics, indeed. I can someone. I thought I have both. No, a beyond the MPP majority leader in Parliament, Honorable Afenyo Markins. I know. President Mahama Boma Minidi say, "Ombe kind of honomuntu Franka Bium and some NDC." In any case, ye NDC for ye futu and free MPP for her to decide who should partner President Mahama or who should lead the NDC. You are a separate political entity with your own set of ideas and your ideology, different from the NDC. Ye candidate, and what power obedi chira obeka no ho. No more ko synonym akopre to me e Ghana for her. Leave that judgment to Ghanaians to exercise. Nyawo. So for Afenyo Markins to say in Parliament, say, Mamena the 76 years and so therefore, or 73 years, sorry, 73 years, and so NDC, any succession plan and all of that. I think Abuano was on the deal Suja and he overreached his bounds. I am not surprised there was a vehement and uproar.
NDC was succession plan though.
Very. Over. There were 1,001 of qualified people to lead the NDC. After 2028. When President Mahama leave the scene. See, offer, it's not about the marketing. it is about the ideology, the philosophy, the achievement, and the accomplishment of the regime in office.
The vision.
And you see, of course, the vision all are boxed within the same scope of ideology and philosophy. It is the ideology and the philosophy of the party that drive the dream of the party. NDC, as a social democrat, a principled, I wholly subscribe and I hold to, believe that at a given point in time, the leadership and political dividends must be achieved upon a reflection of the changes. Remember, Timamufo na brabom. And it's all your abandon Timamufo say on Modaje. Ekoto Santine Etuaba Eua. Nedika and Sobama Nipano. And ya a reshemu ewomu dedikai by holding your oath of office so seriously. At the same time, making sure, say, apart from holding your office of or your oath of office seriously, you will endeavor to be faithful and servant leader to the people. And NDC, from Jerry Rawlings to President Mills down to President Mahama, have proven beyond all reasonable doubt, saying, anytime we come to power, the leaders who lead us don't disappoint the people. Are you surprised where we are today as a country? To the extent that even when intermittent power crisis have crept in our system once again, abandoning you prepared to say Obegia Tum. You get that? Overseer, in 1948, the 28th February Christianburg Crossroad route that led to the demise of 3 soldiers, the imprisonment of Kwame Nkrumah and others. Ghana for do moja koko etu ho pray for who they did not do so, hoping say the sovereignty of the country would be compromised. But today, where are we? Our independence has been brought to question, and nobody can say that Ghana is fully independent now as we speak, because the president of the republic, sovereign parliament, Ashamra, abandoning information, because development partners, in the form of aid, they will not get it. These are the people who never believed Ghana should have become independent. When Nkrumah said independence now, almost say independent within shortest possible time. And that phrase, shortest possible time, is only can only be defined by them. So,
but when say shortest possible time, doesn't mean that he didn't want independence.
Well, sometimes the motive matters.
No, but the point is, if you are saying to us, you're not going to what's say, or say the shortest possible time no pay independence. Earlier you had insisted, say, or say on pay independence. So when you then added, or say the shortest possible time, then we ask you, and not let's say, now almost one pay independence.
Independence now and independence within the shortest possible time is determined.
Is it fair for you to suggest that?
Very fair. Very fair, because the definition of that shortest possible time.
Was it by saying, say, shortest possible time, no? Now pay independence for Ghana.
My main chair and I mean for Menda production team so I say. I mean chair His Excellency and another down Kufado.
We should also say, a Bob Backman of the Movement for Change, Afra Franto, has taken his seat.
And I mean chair flag bearer, your Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Let me say Amaliba the Dinichia, they be a bed drag discussions back. In the history of independence. Kwaya said in penny for starting to qua akon any senyenka yebema yebedi ho na at the time ebi vision different ebi vision now offer say we the Ghana for yin na yin deda the fact say na ebi ka say independence within the shortest possible time as against independence now no offer nka o share senye yabako se me train na even the bia meka say Ghana ye wo mu say no ye de Kwame Nkrumah kra ba Ghana say so mbebu o man Ghana ebe ye ne de nkakra Ghana ye wo mu say no ye de Kwame Nkrumah ba Ghana so mbebu Ghana ebe ye diama no unlike before enti o hwe ya bakosem a sebe na fansa na ye nananom at the time no sebe school sem kra na wo fem slave trade didi emu a oma brainwash ya adwene abrofo no adada ye nananom asesa ye bibia at the time no abrofo no de no metimi akomanim omu democracy no ma start kra again and so no ye natural resources ananke ye wono na ye nananom at the time no fa no mu nim infaso a e wo so bebre into omu sesa ni nyina kra de ma abrofo no nke besi den na nka ofa obroni de ram eye nsa alcohol eba be dada ye nananom bi omu gold no ma sesa ni nyina de amaye eti na nka wo se ye besua ade suku nsem ba education kakra eti edo na ye mpenifo no mu bi se o nka ye ne kakra se ne South Africa fo nso ye omo de no Nelson Mandela bedu eche the global leader for the millennium oye ne kakra wampamo abrofo ni nyina mfi South Africa but or the abrofo na kakra no echechere South Africa ne South Africa eye the biggest country and as economy in Africa in terms of GDP asanso ababe kra be hwe asebe infrastructure development of South Africa ni na ye call no historics we say it offer within the shortest possible time na a time frame and no interest any independent ni independence no but never see it me eboaboa ye hu sie because at the time no offer ye we ni offer brofo no enti uhwe all the public services the civil servants and also the civil service at the time now do we have that needed capacity at the time ebetimi fill all in the gaps no at the time na offer the big answer is no. It's within the shortest possible time it was allowing for preparation say ye be boa ye ho ye educate ye ho ye mpenifo ye nananom at the time no ebete administration ase say ne be yanko betimi fill in the gap be ko wie chire no eba say ye nya independent no afansa na I say learning on the job and I say training on the job inti eba ni sana there were some mistakes corrections be ebe koso ye be dan nyoma ni bi mi wadi we on the job inti eba no decision making wise ne kra na emboa ma sene ye nananom some of the decisions we omu take here at the time no offer enye prevalent enya ade a ebe reflected the times of that era eti offer within the shortest possible versus now ne there I think say a move back up and I say no like I said earlier on no a lot of things have happened Dr.
Baumia is being boxed to select a woman as a running mate now
of ambassador Debbie Obienu our boxe Dr. Mahmoud Baumia so selected Oba as a running mate yeni me ya na mpenifo ni enuan phone bika asem so for Obienu our running mate awenya running mate no otu baby abunsa abebo o share abakosema history political history all running mates are the omabani nyina no one mo prayer ni nyina na at the end of the day no mwenya ubewi eche kra no obi otini baby asebe the contribution eye indirect or yet directly related to whatever political organization arrangement no but omani contribution indirect obi antene ho asem nka ne ho asem ubehwane akofa naba into of obienu our boxe your flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Baumia say unselected a female so onua a channel and na say ohun say ese na say fata and offer this is where it is important I will say ye timi allow your flag bearers no voluntarily omo muntimi nji nkofo omo ahun so mbetimi ne omo aye eduma me ba na meet you about the discussion and argument on this political PAs and special assistant and all that sometimes no offer a mall of trust entinel so timi ye man opinion ni kwan asabi nipa or no ano be trust say asumesi anase obenti amede offer it is void of any gender card sa gender card na ye politics na enko bebia even in business wise kwa na enko bebia wa o merit a o deserve say wa support wa some o ye loyal you've been to the political discourse the ideology of the political party our contribution is unmatched I penifo nyina nim say oh asumesi de flag bearer eboni din say opese ombebo ano na one nembe soma offer I think say that is how we should do it na wie na enko say empenifo ni bi pre na me pre apre ni munu ano offer na eye bone na ekeka ko bone because ye de ma wo pre ni amfa ma wa ebeye wo ya anye we nya pe ubon say apati abem na afi no ejuma esenka wo ye no ubuofu bitterness aseti in apeti abem ntino yema wadwuma kra unye ni ye and of asanyo ma we nyina no eku tia power victory election victory we do not want to see some of these things ebewiachi yen allow your flag bearer nipa or no face so betimi any na ye juma because in the political space in public service no fa there's a lot of trust people place a lot of emphasis on trust accounting for your stewardship the ujini di say or no na obetimi any na ko any na ba obema wa adwini bia e bia obiampo enka nche no betimi ahwe wenim and look you in the eye and tell you say Mr. President and now say flag bearer ade a wuye no enboayen. These are the people that we want to promote. Not among family na nini na ye flag bearer na no one obetimi determine nipa krono ebe wi etre ni ekofo obi ebesi ne so yekofo obi e de brenna na ebia nipa no fa one no en connect in terms of ejuma obi a wo trust no a one na ye ejuma nim se ni osi eye na ejuma de ofa eba ne sape one ni ye ejuma no pose mu flow ankoba ne sape e derail all the effort ye dey gumu from day one to the day of elections. It's nobody has boxed our flag bearer. Ye bompire ye gusu adistradi mu say impenifo party executive, national executive committee, national council for omuni na beti sa asde na say na ebewi echi no ye box ye flag bearer which he has not been boxed by the way. But ebewi echi no no abeyi na kumemu edi edin be man penifo say mahwemu a asumesi anaso benten na me me feel say obabe because of a power na yeni na yehwehwe power ne ba it does not matter wherever you serve power number prayer will preposition a ope minister bi a ope appointment bi a ope u offer ubenya na se unya but say power ni na collectively etimi aba de ope bia no the flag bearer no betimi de eden e the amount and that is what I think say team building and na say ye ejuma ye de hwehwe tumi no teamwork. Eti yenina ye beka ye ho abom e de apre aye adwuma no ama nkunimdie na ye den aba and I think say that is what President Kufuor say me say oye clean Accra in a ruling government is far better than say bia oye odifo na oye opposition enti say oye clean and pokra na party na wa aban mu ofa anye kra no unu openi ba akumienu bia sabi ubetimi akom nchen akoda omo ejuma bi ba kakra bi ba na obetimi apone kakra e de amount scholarship bi na beba obetimi edi wanim ama wonso nsa kan wo de e bi kra na unya a bigger appointment o but nhyehyɛ kakra ekoso policies e beba e be create njuma no 1-2 supply kakra bi wonso betimi enya bi na so de down ho kakra and that is the beauty of the whole political dispensation the discourse aye nyina ye practice.
Okay, right. Julius Nanajima of the New Patriotic Party and Ote Nesesi and earlier on Ote Haruna Kingsley Amaliba of the National Democratic Congress so and now Ubeti Ura Ebo Backman of the Movement for Change Afra Franton on also Nene John Dramani Mahama settles on a woman and the majority leader appears to suggest NDC does not have a succession plan and that it is hinged on an older person in the person of Nana Jane. And that MPP, now newspaper reports, appears to suggest Dr. Baumia is set to select amongst 3 females, Akosia Frima, Natoshi, Mrs. Ekofu. Now, what are your thoughts?
Mapo.
Medase
abiri ma minchi etie for wotie o programming one o programs nko fotie papa me chichi obi biara wotie Mr. Yakopon ninshira na adomzimo biara wotie o afiso nchi akase na mazeko mazema oye oruala nchiramanten oye the leader and the founder of the Movement for Change atabobo azede yambe na embeji Ghana nsuo opanyin Yakopon to nkom no ma ho nyanse na ozama ona ezi yenzama akase no Uncle for more, na yenzama kasa or cinema aye, wabasanoko. Papa, no question you there. Say, Oban de ye obi number running mater. Or your decision or the political party bia, no so political organization bia no FN serious. Same thing you there. Obi biara obe running mate no. Potentially no. Obutuma ba be vice president. So be vice president is potentially no. Obutuma be president. Because the difference between the vice president and the president is just a breath away. Dama mempada make Ghana for you, there may be see ma or Professor Tamus, Onion baby Kwema, Ora Dramani Mahama, or take you over them not. It is a real be the umbeye running meter. The consideration should be there. Nipakono or you be a sabi or nimzi or niswazin hun. No what I been pebia obutumzabo man Ghana na. But normally political parties more in there. So what you be a wash there. One was the vote by Brown. They don't even mainly know why one cares so much about whether the person can be a good president, because whoever becomes running mate is a potential president. Be up there, or you be a woman vote from a certain region or a certain constituency. So NDC strategically, we feel there the woman was going to be their candidate or woman. But you see, one thing NDC there, I was telling somebody, NDC were not fair to Haruna Idrisu. They were not fair to him at all, and this is the reason. Now there, I brought also Haruna Idrisu was at first in Bain. One of the arguments I ended for making it there, Atoforson was going to connect them to Central Region, because Central Region is a very important region for Ghana politics. And he said, Mr. Mahamafi, or you're not, and how to do Sufi North, or serve the same purpose. And why there, when you have to do so, no one far Atoforson, but not connect NDC to a very important region. You know, Central Region, whether it's a matter of mystery or whatever, no. Say a co-election, let's say, and win the presidential vote in the Central Region, and you can't be president since '92. We be always the president to be only or the vote in Central Region on your majority. Last election, for example, MPP lost majority of the seats to NDC, but presidential, they won with about a difference of about 70,000, and another one as president. Into Central Region is a very important region. So the argument was that then when you be about connect NDC to Central Region, that was why Haruna Idrisu was changed. So if Haruna Idrisu was changed on that basis, let's say finally you've gone back to Central Region to pick your running mate from there, then you were not fair to Haruna Idrisu, unless maybe there were other motives, maybe sinister motive against him and one part was disclosed. But if that was the argument, then they were not fair to Haruna Idrisu. But all that said, you know, yes, Professor Nana Jane, who feed out Obobo man, when you now contest that one year, you feel there maybe this time, you know, pay one strategy, you know, obey Yamon. It is not for us to say there it will work for them or it will not work for them. You see, because the decision Ghana will be taken will not based on the running mate. Ghanaians are not going to vote for a party because of a running mate. If Ghanaians are going to vote for a party or they are going to vote for a leader, because of situation of home Sisiala, how are Ghana for your home Sisiala? And that be a pele yentru. Who never to abo? When you're there, after be running mate into or you be see I know if you regiment, you know, then your cosola and your trouble man. How not it say you home Sisiala? Then me Sisiala Ghana in Bibia wako form, young sports wako form, energy sector problem, economy wako form, in education problems. These are issues that Ghana what there. Obi abanfo bi baba obutu mezi nzama atoto akwam na we yidam nzama na efiwo wa magana ye gina de o se de ye gina nkonko fa ye nwon hyase eja ye nyen fa hozi Malaysia na oka ho Singapore na oka ho South Korea oka ho the mun ko ma bo wonzi nyina ye nwon to anama no kor ma ye okasi mponyi de Malaysia fo abe ye nyen fa hozi no obokro ma ha somewhere 1963 obey no obotu kokoo no nye abe wo Ghana. But why you want to do there no? This product often abe. For so on pa. Until one for cocoa and call one chrome or for abe. No, to call Malaysia. Was it abe called Malaysian? 67 years on, or whatever 60 years on. Opocho, my brother Mapa. Malaysia. For some when abe every year on the average is $20 billion. 10 years. You crow wa no wunyim abe as often abe we fa bi wo Ghana ha what you call one chrome abe mo one every year bia $20 billion for jananse ko ba so IMF sky na ko boy 3 billion anamo boa okay cocoa a yazi enyu atodo and which is the mainstay of our economy one man kasa the highest cocoa has ever given us 2 billion. So look at somebody's 20 billion abe 2 billion cocoa sabio one on can show there attention or there's a cocoa no and for the same also the same attention as a mabe one on two damufi but the on man no baby yɛkeka kwan si yɛhia obi a ɔyɛ transformative leader obi a ɔwɔ nyimzie sonko bi ɔdze to akwan mu a Ghana butum afa ne tempe fra Ghana etum akɔ n'enyim na ɛbɛbɔ the same political football yi a yɛbɔ yi for 32 years yi NDC ɔbɔ a ATS na wapasa ama MPP susu ba ɔbɔ a ATS na wapasa ama NDC and what the worst is that even to the extent the mapa economy yɛ wɔ mienwa sisi ala MP let's say NDC you are term opposition MP when you are term opposition MP even to get a project to your constituency or a problem even though who constituency they are all Ghanaians, they are all taxpayers. But watch a national cake now. Because of the system here you practice, the winner takes.
You are dealing with how to do away with the duopoly.
Yes, the duopoly. Because the system here you practice, on your system, say, don't make no, a oppositioner, what's a opposition MP? Watch a project. You have to go and beg as if that will come off on want your tax. But that's what I'm say. But if you have a system or you provide equitable distribution of resources there. Probably the president on show constituency one side of a project because project or a Ghana project and therefore what can constituency be most affected all the man. That is how we build a nation. A system CCIOMI say ABENA be power. Let's start project to 90% completion. We are therefore for no I didn't know what I say because all your credit the previous government to one and system even though the politicians they are corrupt. But the system will protect them because they expose one about affect the image of our political party. System ikita party card. No be kita Ghana card. Obi okita party card no or wait is no be okita Ghana card. Even though we are first as Ghanaians and say e bi no join political party. Nye nya na join political party. Nye Ghana fu nya na political party. Na mun yo kasa sisiale. Mun MPP nyo ka o ase. O se ne say to MPP na say MPP power. E scholarship mpo bi pan bi butun wezi wanyim. Question. No, chere say ko school put in first class. Na nye penyin bi wenzi wonyim. For MPP and NDC, you can never get scholarship. Is that how to build a nation? The answer is no. If we need to build a nation, it will create equal opportunity for every Ghanaian. One more example. There was this young man. I don't know whether I've given this example here before. Kofi, na me nyite Bakano Cape Coast. Okafani fi ekura bi ase wo abra ase bi kwaman kase. Na Kofi be ye woman no osonsman, woman ochogare. Gary Chunumun, Kofi in a man of the JSS. No, I'd say the decor. A soldier fool, Waba Victoria Park, this is often Jubilee Park, obey recruitment. Kofi or Koshebi, one Kodoka for recruitment. Or Kodo Koshebi. No, so you're paying for no one. What are they? Obi Biala, or how was 18 years old and 19 years and above. A pedeco sojan, Braha. No, offering winning arm, Walkway. Walkway also Wako Park 20 times. I will be the first. Obo process you to the next stage. Kofi and or joining and walk park no. Odi first. They processed him. When you can say so genial, he's a rank akosel. Do you know the lesson here? The lesson is that at that point in time, every Ghana will be a woman equal opportunity. This is how we build a nation. Because you'll be an one political party. That is why Indian movement for change is just a measurable basin or different. Because the party has in Kaboma ban.
Let's find out whether Amaliba agrees with you and you move to the next topic. Amaliba,
over.
Do you agree that winner takes or no denies certain category of Ghanaians that equal opportunity, equal access?
Interestingly, my statement, let me read it briefly to you. It is a quote. If your politics denies another person's humanity, it isn't politics, it is selfishness disguised as politics. Unquote. Mettez someone.
Okoti as Thomas Mamken now.
You've
done well. No, but the court itself speaks for itself.
That's okay. You take your time. He alluded to the changes of NDC leadership in Parliament and talked about injustices done to Honorable Haruna Idrisu. How does it come in here? That matter does not arise at all because it is mute.
To you, it's not mute.
Please.
It's not. Maybe to you, it's
not.
No,
one.
Haruna. What is the point about reinforcing Central Region again with Nana Jane? That's more kind of.
Oh, not no. What is the constitutional and legal basis of the Orkan? Oh. Huh? No. That point even defeat the conclusion of his matter or his submission here.
Amaliba.
You are a Ghanaian first.
Also, person will attract more support in the west central region.
Over.
And until where you will be from northern extraction, and everyone will be from the western central region. As I did western, reinforce one.
Yeah.
And now, Faye and Mr. Where we be, Coco choose or running mate as well. Was Masako back to central region? And on the statement is said, at the end, you are fair to Haruna. What have you got to say?
I think when we go on that tangent, we are polarizing the country, which Article 35 Clause 5(6) to nullify. Because the law provides that the state shall integrate the people of Ghana, make sure that there is integration. And this I'm sure for the Cabrera Wutera, I see you as a Ghanaian, not as an Asante man from Asante region, or me being a Northerner or a Kusase man from Upper East. We are Ghanaians first. So when we are talking about building national cohesion as political parties and as political activists, seeking state power, we must endeavor. See a baby son, your man free. Near who you as Ghana for Obia who akwanya. See a man kwanya, obet mouse from my mind. It's as simple as that. But Julius, okay. Please. Where from Central Region? Where from Eastern and Northern Region? No, it doesn't come in. Me born in because someone who can. I don't know whether he has averted his mind to.
Move to the next topic.
Yeah, me car in relation to the okay. You move me in there.
A bit dazed.
No, me over me this crowd. The issues he raised.
Someone can, you know.
There were issues that already here, which I think I can respond to. But if you don't allow me to respond to,
let's try. Let's try.
Of our baby. Of our own say.
That's okay.
The truth hurts. The truth is bitter. Truth now, your leader cow parliament. It represents majority of the rank and file of the NDC concerning this same the Arani mate issue. No, but Okokoma Sempe, then they will show the intolerant level. There be Adena Mokaya Asem. Yes, Obianka say former President Mahama or the Emma Jane Eba offer a bonio yenka saye. But I'll say as a political party no offer ubre in a yetrimba and your bentina obre. It also to me wechi. And looking at in terms of also now we interview political scientists, Dr. Yes. Or say succession plan in here Ghana for year lack succession plan. Of a look at the business community. In for cry.
Okay, your point is well.
People have businesses, entrepreneurs who come on say ombe manage businesses, no ombe hand you over cry na a problem. Who pays a business nego.
But do you have a succession plan?
NDC as a party?
Yes.
I have told you I have before, and I'll repeat it.
So why
there were 1,001
only 4 years to go
people
and Nana Jane who may not show interest beyond John?
Does that really matter where we are today? It is not a matter of say Sumana won't be more.
Yes, Sumana won't be more. Uber fast man is serious. A hindi be whom Pobusa say.
Ye boomai, Yanchichira Bushia, and a Yanchichira Mayoku, and your mind Yanchichiri. And on mana yeshire no tiasie na moye team de chire on man no e ya mayoku Rollins she NDC as and away
there be as an office here no so it's not so much the vision of the leader and not so much the vision of the leader
at a given point in time. The vision of the leader that cannot be decoupled from the philosophy and the ideologies of the political party. Of course. If it is true, tell me. The vision of the leader. NDC is a social democratic party. President Mahama Timinka may be a capitalist and I am fitting into socialism. No, it will not be the case.
Do you need to belong to a political party and say what to be president of Ghana?
I am not saying so, but once you are within the political party, you believe in the philosophy of the political party.
Could be a vehicle through which an unfit person could be leading the country.
I don't think we are talking about unfit persons here. Once the person
succession plan
succession plan does not arise at all because one of the functions of parliament is to train people for political succession. Aside parliament, there were 1,001 qualified people. God forbid. Manos is menaso. Your man ko for samba. Yamina mankwa, yamina jenkwa.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that President Mahama Yanko Porto is friend in that NDC will not get someone to replace him. Doesn't mean that Professor General Pokwajiman Yanko Porto is friend in that NDC will not get someone to replace him. When Mahama saw President Mills fell out, Mahama took over. It is the same way that when Jane and Mahama also finished their tenure, God willing, somebody on money no fall out. We or more time so no more qua. There, look, I'm the only generation in the party, Nana. We have millions, over 6 million supporters of the NDC. Are you saying? Is someone telling me that among all the supporters, no,
over 1 million
there is no
not
qualified? There's no
2016.
Overseer, there were millions of presidential candidates qualified within the NDC.
But they will have to wait until this slate is
It
wiped.
is not a matter of
time.
waiting, overseer. It is a time.
Mapa.
And I wonder why people are saying it because I did also say about Mpine Kufuado. He was the only person qualified in the NDC. You know, come on, Mama. Me na me waha. Aminka. I don't know Mokana. Sano Moka. That they push a Kufuado 3 consecutive times. They should leave that debate because it doesn't augur well for the national discourse. We have serious problem to talk about. Doing so now, Baro. Let's see how we can solve it.
Yeah, right. Chemating steps out into the marketplace. The marketplace strategy. What does it entail? It gets to Volta region. Also, the Volta region is going to be the new skills center in West Africa. It gets to the Central region. He says the Central region is going to be the financial services center of West Africa. He gets to Greater Accra. He begins to talk about Freeport Enclave in the Tema area. And then in the Asante region, he talks about industrial hub, the Greater Kumasi, the Kumasi industrial zone. Every region be asusu ebejane diana.
Mapa. So kada obi a transformative leader. Obi a oma nzama kese osi o manam. Mesala nchamanten mpanyifo wa asembia waka wase se kwatro kwase obama ntoma eya tie ne din. Mesala nchamanten na waka say.
One time you know we are your friends and Nana about how Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has used digitalization to help the Ghanaian economy grow. And then Amaliba will tell us what John Dramani Mahama is doing in the Greater Accra region and the impact it will have in the upcoming election.
Yes. Yeah, Mapa. Nti mekade mesala nchamanten na wakasa. Sometimes in politics, obi promise menti promise ne keke. Fenyipa kro or promise. Na hwe no track record there or you obi a otum oye nzama a oya akese wa or kebi na mesala nchamanten e okada masemi mama otiefo nti there is the same mesala nchamanten no create the biggest economic project in Africa. The whole of Africa, you're on your central region and western region. The whole of Africa, no, create the biggest project ever. Africa by Africa, that is the biggest project in on Africa continental free trade area. Ghana, you know, created the Mazi or from Salan Chamanten. The same person also, so by your man, economy be as obu to wakonima. Also, there a diversified economy. This is China, for example, Shenzhen, technology in Zaman Kotan. Ekwa Guangzhou or your commercial. Every province in China biano or something different. The idea is that or promote internal trade because our Shenzhen, our Guangzhou here be of electrical or communication or technological ibiala. Eboko Shenzhen. Say our Shenzhen so in here BB of an entire nanzamanzama also boko Guangzhou. That is how every economy is built. Into Salan strategy that is being a canon. Also, they diversify economy in such a way that every region biano about specific ejume bia obeye. So the region will be known for that particular thing. In here them service now.
Strategy.
Yes, in here that service now. Also there, if you region so promote internal trade. I know my manu chumpon. Inti also, see you, also central region. want to be fin to my chance in for. As the central regions no Oba. Obama Central Region, why the financial hub of this country. Today, Oban Sikasam, Obama Omane Tumpun, the headquarters of Oya Mani Niskasam Ninano, Obigina was Central Region. No, Chede say, Washanti Region, let's say a businessman, let's say he has certain financing, now a financial engineering, you have to travel to Central Region. A Central Region, na here BB industrial product be now also about Ashanti region or promote internal trade. That is a strategy of a transformative leader. You're 2x4 your way, yeah. Obi to obi a drone or quarter boss and bomb bad because Mr. Drone, Mama was a drone, so yeah, you drew your hack on your drone is one ended. If you be a Bibia Nankasaba chassis, then make a chono. Most or share. Yeah, no. Mechanism the choma keke. Your probia them make a chono. African now, what the woozy go bomukrono. United Nations, watch the whole Africa no. On all the channels. The opinion is the major nation, sir. My African na inzu igwa mbomukro. No create the Africa continental free trade. The same man is telling you there. Samoba. Oya Kumasi, change that Kumasi Zanpo. That is why Mr. Alan Chamatin. No, but no, Beckham Coffee say, Miss Allen and Chod or resign in Tam, or resign if you people in Tam. What man and Kofu you there? At the time, Uncle Fuka the Master Mina, no Miss Allen Chamatin, on your World Bank, no, your South Korean president, government will discuss how to turn Kumasi to industrial city after Kwame Nkrumah's term. Kwame Nkrumah Tomabe industrial city no. After that, so many years. No, when the Washington no come na seminary. So many years. Yenya bibi demo baby abio. Mr. Alan Chamanti yala no the proposal. As got to World Bank for only. Oye a South Korean government. What's in ho? This is what you want to do. You better turn Ashanti region as the next industrial hub for Ghana. Oshe Juma Nasen, no said onye abrofun wie ansana ozene letter that my president today Mr. Juma to form. Nti no said otwen kakra. Nti can you imagine there most tama ba ya tama ma ozi njumba kasa kase bay mankofu nye juma ye matama bue sisiala say itumi ye Greater Kumasi industrial city say ye wie dem Mr. Nchamantin ankasa ni initiative dem make no he dreams big, he thinks big. Nzema oya kasa kase Akwanya no nyan ye president. Moye nyina oye as a minister. Imagine there was a otumnishan in some as president. Nzama kasaka so obe ye Ghana. Can you imagine ya idemazi yewi? Na ya link Damazi to Bwankra inland port ya. No so bado wo dam enclave in the same ejuso area we. Na ye tum na yazi railway atum ebesitama. Na se containers wo ba one for yan car kon do bio. Na wo for was it railways na was roko. Na yan car akon nyina pressure mbado. Imagine in Juma Ozibaba Ghana. Damana Ukroa was you crowd to pray Damana Wadrin. And you're 2x4 and Zama, it's in this name people comparison. Why? Sabi Oya Roho. They used to know my growth rate at 2.5%. Was it at 3.70%? I'm better than you. You see, when I was living, interest rate was 25%. Was it at 35%? So I'm better than you. Question in your day. Even standard, you compare. You choose the best. Is it the NDC standard or MPP standard? For me, the value is the same. So, Mr. Alan watch line a region biano or would you measure or by obezin a strong cool?
Is it a Ford working?
Yes, Waka 4. And if you listen,
they're feasible.
My catch there. So, Obi with the rule, Obi a while we do rule. Now, one will say good, 1 man connium. So, catch the boy when our banner was a banner, menjinichim.
Voter Region New Skills Development Center.
Yes. Yeah. You see, what a scaler through
skills development.
Yes, skill development. So there, every region biano, echo voter region. Actually, oye insanu juma. Eka wana oye insanu juma ma odezi pa. Oye the votarians. I know you can't match them. There, you may be today.
A density building technology.
Building. What's 1 year in Gua 1 year? Bibiala, what audience and Juma, often as I know, maybe I know, Echo Water Region, what them for. Until region biano, Azar, what advantage already, or the comparative advantage. Na Eshimikina, ojina but what am kana sa that said no nkyerɛ dɛ one yɛ other things of water regional but obama dam dwumazi no obama obɛhyem kena ma wayɛ kase nti obi wɔ central bank no podo kusuansa no dwuma paa zo bɔbra obɔkɔ a water region obi so of water region or a businessman no here financial retooling financial bibi ozabobra oboba central region. That is how we crisscross. That is how we build an economy.
Okay.
In terms of That's
your opening.
Yes.
Amaleba Kakra, chairman of the NDC in Ayawaso West Wogon constituency. Please, the current situation of the country needs a rescuer. We need to redeem the country now before talking about succession plan. We have thousands of men and women to take over from John and Jane. Amaleba, the impact of John Dramani Mahama building the Ghana we want to.
Very interesting. Mitie Ebo Backman and Julius, you can tell the value is the same. Really fit them. All the people who are parading themselves in Ghana from Tuabama, President Mahama stands tall and towers above all of them. He's the only person who have taken the presidential oath before. He's the only person who have lead this country before as a vice president and the president-elect for the republic. He's the only person yani effort and the achievement on match. Afafranto and was sonora or no in Chenhui. They all combined to lead this country. Alan Chematin served in this regime. The longest serving trade minister.
Impeccable record.
What has been the accomplishment in the trade industry in trade in this country?
Impeccable.
Yes, see, Commander Sugar Factory, Jamamo, $20 million, 7 fund already. Member factory. What happened? Ajegu. So far, baby Edri. The titune baby o mampine kufado. Achi Ghana bas. Ne don't amana don't ko odi akoshemu. Ye hear experience and ye experiment. Ye hear the wire bida. No be ye every salmon anymore. And yet ye could try ahwasem. No, we've gone beyond that. BBAJ is very dangerous to experiment. In any case, building Ghana we want tall. President Mahama EDBPA in Krapumpuni Mantem. Ono na nananot na kunya ishai. The vision for Greater Accra region, particularly the Ghana state, and the looting of the Ghana's property, their lands mainly. I am glad to hear said the injustices against the people of Greater Accra, particularly the claiming and the storing of their lands. President Mahama Soba Bemwa, or best to commission of inquiry to look into it, including Sasia abided to me a Gina, Sabai and Fire Shibimwa. Yenyama na anamot na nkunyo mo nkramantem na omo nyo mo sasa de ompeso mo yibi omo de ye na mbo ama nipa stremu enwie peye but ofa yenkai bio say abra mampeni Mahama efra bam Ghana wo jaba na kufu ado no enye sa Ghana na ekura na biom ekura mu enei dumso asamba biom na me hunu say endo dumso esi won krapumpuni mantem ha no politically motivated. So the better President Mahama message or the aba nkramante mu Ghana for ne amansan atodi echire no entimi nya kwanya na enkoso de was timamu for ne no. Other than that, why is it that more than 1/3 of Accra went off last night? What reason? Yes. Maybe baby I may take off and the whole town Ekosumu.
So how are you able to say 2/3 of Accra?
Yeah, 2/3 of Accra.
How do you know?
Oh, I know because your social media messages. And follow social media.
From here.
Obi say me maybe ablekuma me light a call.
2/3 of Accra.
Obi say me abelem pe me light a call.
Accra landmass.
Meaning the landmass of.
And 2/3 of.
And you monitor social media. It's obvious. The complaints by no compels me to conclude that 2/3 of Accra went off. What was the reason? Dumso is back. So we are telling the government and say ECG. In fact, on boss no can say. Having a light in your house is a privilege, and you're right. Yate. On your own far timetable in mind. So that by Ghana for we can monitor and program our life. But we want to assure them December 7th this year is a month of change. See the Ghana month. Huh? Yes. March is Ghana month. December 7th is a month of change. And the whole year is a year of change. We are rescuing Ghana. The Beji Ghana from Nadonko Mampine Kufu de Kokusibuno. Alaji Mahamadou Baumia had the option. Mampine Kufaro Okoyino or say Manisika someone was sure economist. Obo PhD. Ono nim Omanisi or my onim Sika Samon to ye. I was gone. Okay, say Ghana, Yankopo the Yansa, you ask me Yansa and the Amamba Omia. Okojina Parliament 2019 State of the Nation address was say the stellar performance of the economics Dr. Laji Mahamadou Baumia as the head of the economic management team. And then what you bas na kopem, Laji Mahamadou Baumia, I don't surprise say, Omampeni kom na sebe fie na no atwamu oka se Baumia a digital man. Everybody obey a digital man. From the economy to digital man, just onim identity. Onu anyamsumu onim so your Christo dia na oyenkra moni onim. Saba mambu so onim so your economist or your digitalization there by IT whatever. And these people no almost come here. Omo twafufuo afa Ghana 40 code ya be hye enum. Ye ne hwehweni. Ebio ye to nsa from ampani say, wo monyai concept na mo yi wo court no. Na bill na parliament a passing that Ghanaian families values bill no. Abaning financials here.
John Mahama Greater Accra building the Ghana we want to order. And what's now working?
Oh yes, part of it.
Gusukain.
It's very part of it. So today can I say to build the Ghana we want and bequeath them to prosperity, we must be consistent and demonstrate a high level of credibility in leadership. But leadership na yehunu omo ye credible. So far, the American can see and say the government President Mahama went to the port. We share port workers. And for all you know, Tema Meridian Port Services Limited, contractor Ghana by no Mokoye, the expansion project was aimed at serving Ghana as a center point of maritime trade in West Africa. Doing same with how they call it, Tema Port, Takrade Port. When you say Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, Omonioma at the free port, free Ghana port, that's mainly Tema. And until Tema runabout expansion project, any MPS terminal project, included the construction of a railway line from Tema to Mpakadan or to Akosomo. So the Baya, Kagwa, the northern part of the country, Ebeko, the Kosomo Lake, Nidiafa Ferry, near built the inland port, it was part of the Northern Development Authority's plan. You are talking about building industrial parks in the country. Do you know what NDC already started and was trying and was doing? My brother. You have no idea about it, please. Can I continue? Can I continue? Please, I don't even want to come in.
That's a question.
No, let me can say. Me musa the question.
What do you know?
Me na makana some makana so no to sim. Enunti port na ye wo tema. Adwuma ka wo say ebedi ma o man no. Ofoyin na ehun. Uko port wa ye empty. The government have killed maritime trade in the country. Go and ask the importers. Obnoxious taxes are binding their back. And how those taxes are killing their businesses. Abusu kai egu. Uko swami egu. Ejuma foko wa omoko tan oto da mo na o ma so ekofie. Hwe nkoso. That was also the aim. And the President Mahama is committing himself once again that upon election as president or taking office, the idea or initiated the expansion of Tema Port project is going to come into fruition. Now, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, and they are not going to concentrate on Morocco or Algeria to direct shape and cargo clearance through that country's port. When the impact of that decision on what taken on the economy of Ghana, it is as a result of reckless leadership. So elections have consequences.
This is what we should be hearing Dr. JDM talk about.
Exactly. He has spoken about those things extensively. So far, what are we going to do once again? Ghana being the black star of Africa, Sa Black Star man Pineku fraud, edi ato former Tetia, so how do we lift it up again from the dust of shame, polish it to become a shining star again?
Okay.
Democratically, in terms of governance and economical performance, to reflect the will of the people, not only Ghana, but of Africa. So that Ghana may anymore yama frebium.
Right.
Africa, all African games I call Shukru, and then Mgwasia Abba. So far, you win only 4 medals.
The Passia kind, Doctor. JDM, as a man, what they ban and
but your mama Queen and responsible.
Haruna Kingsley Amaliba of the NDC and John Dramani Mahama engaging in the building the Ghana we want in Accra and watch Richie Sentia Mahama and Nama Udi Sejumano. Nanajima, in all this,
right,
Dr. Mama de Baumia, or here day.
Let me say, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and a bold solution for the future, Ghana's next chapter now. And only the vision, the strategic vision, and all the strategies are Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Eddie Gugu Akwemu as on one kasane vision or the Bema Ghana for going into 2024 elections. So far, Ayana, unse media, sikasem economic policy, fiscal policy, you Ayana follow the discussions in the economy. Offer a new mabes a 5 will be na high economy no at this particular time. Bako import bill. Bako the energy sector. That's the power sector no, in terms of sika liquidity challenges. Offer a share import bill is costing on my way in excess of $10 billion in import bill. The IMF nimpo na balance of payment situation import exceeds export. There's pressure on foreign currencies into a hono and a economy in starting. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia say so bad out of the bigger vision or what edema or minor. The policy on the economy is that it's going to pursue a more stable macroeconomic environment. And only say offer DBI also yes send you bit me grow the economy no. Yes, say interest rate ebete aba from seni ye hu no mrebi etwem we peja konimua as a result of the na ekoso economy nimu. Bank of Ghana atete policy rate ni so ene as we speak ababa be do 29%. We are hoping say beba for more of a yes say Dr. Mahmoud Baumia so be pursue low exchange rate. Say any na yenim the relationship between your cedi and the dollar no. Are they backward air driving or variable air driving or air import? And see if we can address this import bill, nasi cannabis me at na or minimum using Ghana for Ghana Union Traders Association, GUTA for Association of Ghana Industries, or more in charge of production and manufacturing for then import and export eczema for all these business stakeholders and offer. Ombetimi abua ama yetimi aye import substitution offer. I think say it is the panacea for a more stable macroeconomic environment, and that is what Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is promising on the economic policy. Offer you call the tax policy. The various political parties need be promising this, promising that. It is not about the promising. So almost all the political parties offer they should tell us how ombetimi are generating resources homegrown, because we say bibi do no offer share your tax to GDP ratio yakase Ghana between the sub-Saharan Africa no ye ewo fem we are doing 13-15 yebetimi ako 18 yebetimi ako 20%. Ebanisana an economy is being projected say the value of the economy is hitting 1 trillion Ghana cedis no offer. If you are collecting 20% of it now, it's a lot of money in Puntunjuma Bebre. It's on tax policy no. And the analyst for Bebre say various political parties should tell us how raise revenue domestically. Offer maybe I was to say economy no. How the economy has traveled with it, difficulties and challenges no. Offer in fiscal policy, when your economy contracts, you don't tax. se economy ni ho train bebre injuma entimi engina ne naso injuma in the business sector ye bia ye the center right party we believe in property owning democracy empowering Ghanaians entrepreneurs send ye most of the economy nyina no the sectors of the economy ye de be Ghana for no e will see etimi stimulate that enfamom send ye they will take advantage of the tax system. It's what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is promising in the tax policy there. Adeba kwa ha ejedi any ejedi for offer. Citizen and friendly flat tax regime offer. We have come to a consensus say most of our taxes, the tax laws and the existing tax laws are our system, most of them are cumbersome. A here review and say yes straightforward, yes simplify no. Send a beya udija now at the end of the day no. Looking at the complex nature of our tax system in and ma ejidi4 entimi voluntarily and your compliance. You see we have to increase more of voluntary tax compliance. Now I will say simplify a tax system no, and it is one of the ways that ever be generating a boosty domestic revenue offer. Corporate tax in sense, most of companies are some of them are complaining about corporate tax. Current corporate tax, the generic can offer 25%. Most of the companies are almost set outside Accra, no, Ebia in Sawum, Ushe Blue Skies, the rural areas now to stimulate the growth and push most of the companies there. No, you reduce the corporate tax system for them. Send Beya tie with our flagship program of one district, one factory. No, we'll get a lot of companies. They will come up and then bill a call parliament and can also minority for in tax incentive $449 million. Anka yede ma companies Ghana for companies or more money more we can stimulate the growth, increase their capacity and then create more jobs. When that happens now in the end you collect your corporate taxes. It's the import of raw materials and company for no suffer at the port and you give them exemptions. No more value addition, no more you collect your corporate tax. And this is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is proposing by way of tax policy because of we are looking at expenditure. And now we don't focus on the revenue, how we are going to generate the revenue. One of the things I offer in terms of tax policy, penalties and interest on taxes. The principal amount is to offer only can but imrane oho say ni say mantene so na say o file na utua o value added tax and as afina so na say utua corporate tax sabi say wentimi enye sika mfa ankwa kotua imre oho ni say o say charge o penalty and interest. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say oba sa imra na obesakram no we yi penalties and interest ni fi ono mo say na be ya the business communities ejadifo will be given the opportunity to start afresh and file their tax compliance na ho ne hia power. Again in sono adia Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ayede da the digitalizing the Ghana Revenue Service offer and there's online filing, online payment of taxes. Nina encourage the payment of taxes. They say people are getting more confident with the system by help of interoperability, mobile money sensema. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia san digitalizing at the convenience of your offices, your home, or file it online now you can make payment across the various platforms. Offer Adebakwa make DC on the tax policy Dr. Mahmoud but the bigger vision tax audit. So be sure most of the shops across Aboso kind the supermarket, the shopping malls now you will see Ghana revenue officers they are monitoring sales, they are tracking sales as a result of what lack of what compliance and people either under or overstating their invoices. Banisana the fear and panic share the business community this thing will be a thing of the past. Now in 5 years there will only be electronic audit. Why? Because they say you file all your returns online. It's with the help of IT and digitalization we can have access to your returns, your documents and everything and audit you. No need for human auditing. At the end of the day it will lead to discretion and discretion will also lead to corruption. Nininano will be a thing of the past. Offer Adebakwa high budget deficit. As we speak, they will complain about fiscal space. To be able to address the challenges with the economy, the difficulty, we should be able to focus on addressing deficit. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say, of as say, you already a friend of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, is capping budget deficit 5% of your GDP. Sa imrano LC etimi eshemu kina na ye decentralize the Fiscal Responsibility Act no. Cutting across, then you have autonomous, you give more independence to the council, so there will be fiscal responsibility counselor. They'll be able to monitor the Ministry of Finance in terms of setting budget deficit. Then Kobani say, oh, your parliamentar, you increase expenditure, now we increase revenue pay, you still maintain your deficit. Meanwhile, no only me are generating the revenue from the system pay. Now afe onho air show, and you have to resort to borrowing, and then we know the repercussion that comes with borrowing. Offer. Adebakwa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia promise ne vision, the bold solution for the future and offer leveraging on the private sector to create jobs. Adebakun so all kahun about the private sector finance for infrastructure development. Of an only choice one say budget as we speak revenue na 3 budget expenditure items away the revenue we generate in the country. Enti oshe allocation that goes to CAPEX capital expenditure kitu enti ebane government will also resort to grant, will resort to bilateral, will resort to multilateral loans, and go to the Euro bonds and raise loans to come and finance your CAPEX, which is akwan ye see hospitals, ye see schools, ye sanyo money nina. And they say will have to leverage with the private sector. Your natural resources, and he's done that. The barter system. You bet me AUC your natural resources. Now, when you invite private participation, they will give us the money. They will also give them something. And he's done that. Offer. One of the things the mining sector, because they say no say Ghana. I per data me who last week, and I think say Ghana is the second producer of gold in the world, the first in Africa. And as we speak, all the northern belt has been, prospect or feasibility studies are costing is sitting on gold. And here say, you bet me I explore your natural resources to solve our problems. And this is what I'm talking about. In his natural resource policy, he's going to grow small scale miners to large scale offer. It will interest you to know, say, me fi mining sector, me fi akwetia. And when you go there, ubehu sebe. Small scale mining, etimi I empower omo. The kind of capital they hold, the kind of money they hold over there and offer. And is very interesting. It is when we're able to move them into a small scale mining with the help of policy, responsible mining, with training, with workshop. You bet me I attach them to the University of Mines offer. These guys will be moved into billionaires and millionaires in this country. And offer it is creating of jobs for the youth because and then our mining sector will be at the hands of our people, the local folks. Offer these and many others for the sake of time. The Ghana's bold solution for the future, Ghana's next chapter. And here say we are leveraging on digitalization. Say economy be more stable. And yet the promises are how do I may say how are you going to generate the revenue within? Senior Beya will have enough liquidity to support programs are na afe of our custom last week. Stress they be a boy a brave stress at the end of the day be detective say sign away men sign away.
Right. Nana Jima of the New Patriotic Party and earlier on Amaliba of the NDC National Democratic Congress and so by. Now we go to Ebo Backman.
Yes.
Ebo?
Yes, Inyuma Adakabre Mpanyinfo Okazi was the Kasatin on top on Ghana from Ovishan there. Ghana nya Obonabra or pay every month to be out. Or if you're there, every month to be out spend this career, opening will save be for future investment. There was about to war. I'm watching a be assembly to now with two others solve. Currently, Ghana for one take home pay on your dollar station. Businessmen man behind me there. Obabusa, no any business. This is about you the dying there. Then interest rate before maybe the best and get digits. Nancha Obabusa, Bosa now before I'm all a business. With many businessmen or Nigerian on you Togo Nazan on your niece can no with too so I'm in business. How can you? Magana for you trying, more what's your phone, more trying me. Now, my brother, I shall see if you made a marble. What's the name, Mr. Mahama? On your Ghana, the only person who is the president. I know what 3 people are, I mean, for me, the front runners and where you basa. Mr. Ananchaman, Mr. Mahama, on your large Baumia. Mr. Mahama, who is the president today? But this is what happened. Answer na Professor Temus Obawun. Economy no dija Mr. Mahaman was one of the best. In fact, it was the best in sub-Saharan Africa. It was one of the best in Africa. Economy Professor Temus Mr. Mahaman take over. That was the economy. Inflation was 9%, single digits. Everything was good going for this country. Now, Mr. Mahama for economy. Within 4.5 years, Oji economy no. Oji economy no zikasha IMF. Economy biaso zikakosha IMF. No chede economy no wase. Chede onye ye intumi handle until aziko IMF. Into economy which was a growing economy, rising economy of fair fee Professor Thomas no wu nature no. I be anyim den chodo zuko na nyim no zikasha IMF. Na dem nyim pay catch there. Economy as is MPP for say no share IMF already. Orobana will be create 24 hours economy out of it. Let's say the mass giza. No, I care the Kokwanan's story. Because when all rising production and sen, even you could pay. The economy is and the IMF as you can see problems. In fact, say yes, I see the Ukrainian external debt. A core years woman on yes, I see the Ukrainian this economy will collapse. Energy sector problem or so what pound temper you want in Ghana you be on to serious problems all money. Inti on ye brofoka no ye promises. Practical solutions. I couldn't for drive solve your problem. On as own here sisiala. Inti obia how the rising economy akoshe IMF is so catch you there. Economy already under IMF. No over only 4 years to govern there or create 24-hour economy. Out of this, an example woman there Obama wonderful cheap electricity in the night. No to my word when you ma. To my word majuma in Abena my Jimiska Maka and you be and this energy sector problem he don't promise him or your button maka. So now quickly. Economy be pay bass and wash do. Economy be pay bass Ghana economy since 92. You pay bass and wash your economy no do. The president, the vice president, and the finance minister. So why allocation of resources? Why allocation of resources? I'm talking about the politicians. Why allocation of resources? Them go for basin all this time there. Ministry of Agri, them is kenkoha. Ministry of Trade and Industry, them is kenkoha. Ministry biala more here, them go for basin all decide. In the economy biala so before madam go for be ambassador you hold on responsible. Contract them kanaza. And your minister, you don't determine how much what was the amount. With my budget today in here 10,000, what kind of almost 2,000, you don't complain. The minister be a mutual man no oye. The vice president, as the head of economic management team, had every opportunity in this world. More you there. When they come to okoye what's on oye. Number one sign is it what's in your be.
Okay. My final comment.
Say boko yenima. Mpo Ghana for one team. My final comment. Abaya tono yentu abama political party team. The power of the state is vested in an individual. And to about political party. Now do see Obutu resign from MPP who are NDC. He will still be president of Ghana. MP or resign from MPP who NDC or by election. That's the difference. The power of the president is for an individual, not the political party.
Okay.
Abaya tono to Abama Msalan Chamatin.
Nah, Amaleba Sosi and to Abama.
It is very deceptive for many opinion Ebo Backman, because President Mahama collapsed the economy. Mikuta National Economic Forum 2014, Central Eastern Region. You don't call page 59. Or say President Mahama, when he was addressing the gathering, some asked you my fellow Ghanaians, as you approach your discussions, I want you to bear in mind that despite these challenges, we have managed to steer the economy to some of its highest growth rate on record. In 2013, growth was respectable 7.1%. The same year, the growth rate for the world economy was 3.0. The growth rate for emerging economies was 4.7%. The growth rate for the sub-Saharan Africa average was 4.9%, and the growth rate for the advanced economies averagely was 1.3%. In the medium to long term, we expect to raise this to an average annual growth rate that is above 8%. And of course, IMF, Can I continue? If we are to go on that target, today the economy should have grown beyond 10,000%.
What I'm saying is that
stop that.
Offer no 14%.
Please. Over. Legatum Institute, Economic Intelligence Unit, African Development Bank, IMF, the World Bank, and others predicted the Ghanaian economy was going to grow beyond 7% from 2017. And when MPP came to office, in fact, it did happen. And then some more considered here or there. But see, and some Kwanya Minya Julius Kwanya Inano. Kramo Baumia is on the seat. Why is he not implementing it?
Final comment, Nana.
Come on.
Offer, Bibia, you do say no. About the future and not the past. We in the MPP, no, we believe in succession plan. Nanado Dankwa Akufu Ado, with Timmy ISR succession plan offer. Oshe, Omo and Penifo a contest a primaries Nina, and Penifo Asebe, they are future leaders of our party. And you know, the plan, we believe in it, will continue to lead this country and provide future solutions for our people. And ye chia yeko, NDC Amaliba de, Omo de, still they represent the past. And we are appealing to Ghana for say, yes, Ghana for say, yes. And yen your money ni na ne kuye edema. We have had the challenges with the economy. Global economy have faced a lot of difficulties. In so be brave, Eddie Abre offer. It will interest you to know, say, former President Mahama Nyakwanko Harvard, African Business Community and Harvard University. Omo conference and omo inviting his own Bekasa. And of I'll send you the video. Former President Mahama was talking about COVID, Russia-Ukraine war, the impact on African countries. A year international conference there, when Timianya they ain't denying the fact too, but for the sake of local politics and political experience, you know, that is okay. But Dr. Mahmoud Baumia represents the future, and the future and offer. The challenge is that we've had a lot of learning curve. We will right the wrongs, whatever ACBR will project this country into the future. Na Ghana for bedi or minimum.
Yo, Julius Nanajima of the New Patriotic Party, and in that submission. Earlier on, Haruna Kingsley Amaliba of the NDC also stood his ground, and then Ebo Backman. Yapon
Chairman Makieta Tesibin Chow. Chairman Tia Pa. O program no dey went here.
Kulugana asada. The Kulugana Arababazin Ebreyen Eshe Maba one fe ade honchon capsules. SUC anoma mema yewo prostate disorder. Afi Mr. KO ede ebebeboa emema soso ma ye stress edi free ho na yetimi ama yenya rising libido pain tablet the blood pressure and ensucia no Kulugana Reno 024 413 9176 yentie ABENA MOET any Olakoku Ghana Olakoku Michael and DJ Foreigner say omudi ebe kofi omudi ebe ko jojo usuneti neat 100.9 FM
and you ma beto to dia me baba no hwade no twem so betumi a asew now beka ya jon to mami ensa duku potomanto this way chocolate drink na kan wo hwe afibia so beri ni waware ne this way chocolate drink na kan sia asew udan kawanu tumu ho me be mo anu nsu hye kwa dia ka ho uhade a wapi ho ukasa batete eda fom ho this way chocolate drink
kra cha be pe baba ware
asew
ye fi ase this way chocolate drink ya sori anopa no ne yenom ye be chef fridge nom no se snack ye nya hoho a no ne de serve wo mo ye didi wie ne ye pe bibia bogu ya de so a this way chocolate drink ne yenom ana this way no ti ano a he se kire wom koko wom brick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ne so se
this way chocolate drink
de wo hia ani so se
FDA ahwehwe se adwede nkrato mu agye atum se eye
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And you ma beto to dia me baba no hwade no. Hwem so betumi a. Hey, asew. Hey, now beka. Ya John to ma me ensa duku portmanteau. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibian so beri ni waware ni a. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Oh, asew. We den kan no tumu ho. Me be mo anu nso hye kura dia ka ho. Wo hwade a wapi ho. O ka se batete eda fom ho. This way chocolate drink.
Catch up be baba ware.
Asew.
Ye fi say this way chocolate drink. Ya sorry anopa no ne yenom ye bi hye fridge nom no se snack ye nya hoho a no ne de serve wo mo ye didi wie ne ye pebibia bogu ya de so a this way chocolate drink ne yenom and this way no ti ano a he se kire wom kwakwo wom prick wom bibia wom ade wo hia ne so hye
this way chocolate drink
de wo hia ani so hye
FDA ahwehwe se adwede nkratoe mo agye atum se eye
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Musumfuola makia mene driver. Me do coffee and tin wo sit bet. Many me mate to be any ABENA MOET. Gonna fuad yatum. We are the best. We the best on the highway. We the best. But here me feeling it 100.9. I feel the cassia so we day online. Do other coffee than you made on 9. Copy me no see ya some Ghana mine. It's a time could you ya do coffee. Assume Jemo Jojo and so that no over speeding, sin overtaking. Be careful driver and Ipanya Kashire. Ya coffee, ya coffee, ya coffee. Ola my girl, ya coffee. What's so good? I would see any FM. Ya born your pan, ya count some there. I put to some near and just some aswaya. Well, I'm a kid, dinner guy, he the spider. From ship house to fear sometime. Radio Muperakasa, Pampine. I did baby, number one drive time. Yella no kuma pen, Kabiala, no size. Need FM drive time show. Big Don, I might kill be your host. ABENA MOET, what's the day? Ya coffee, ya coffee, ya coffee. Ola my girl, ya coffee.
Ya no me bibrime. Ye nya kofa tu yeso. Etu otu esi vema bo okunkunim kofa ejina ne so akwara paadi kokwe hu ededa mana echire no yeah ne adeshiamra kroma dansidi fo mehwe kasemu chira awawade esumu apai mo hire nya kwa pie awawasem nie we die bi si pen yeah ne Neat FM yamamwa kwaba aiko nana brebre obrimpon okatechi tsunase woba tsunase Neat FM 100.9
Yeah Kofio my Kofio Cecilio Emilio Penesoma me mesha ukawa Shirami udi Na me fantonium dede Debi Benedicta Cecilia Emiliana Monica Oya me fe Eti di mechi my Kofi Follow me make we go Cecilio Emilio Penesoma me mesha ukawa Oya me fe Eti di mechi my Kofi Follow me make we go Cecilia Emilia Penesoma me mesha ukawa
You see ni that to look up and show na so obey simia You see ni country na so go na bem na so stay simia Nana freme Me semre cry Yen kofie me go home mame na me nya wati Well I've been looking and searching and I have found you There was nothing in this world and nothing that stopped me from loving you But the only thing in this world that stopped me from loving you is when you cheat on me, is when you betray me, and you break my heart.
Alright, now me fantonium that baby Benedicta Cecilia Emiliana Monica Oya me fe Eti me se di me chi my Kofi Follow me make we go Penesoma me mesha ukawa Oya me fe Eti me se di me chi my Kofi Follow me make we go Okay Penesoma me mesha ukawa Nye terribly ami Kenge muchi Iwole na chini Ibele fa chinta Shimo shifi shimbashi Tete ninja shintoshi Ibeshi po pa Oh Yehovah Oh ta Manya po Oh Yehovah tami aye Akami ba akami fe Okasa tutu Okasa podo duo Wenge podo Tego maya podo Don't Niwa don't ni wato Come on Atopo no konole Tioko pole shele Ruby sisi mimi Julie Betty Jessie Rapi Atopo no konole Tioko pole shele Ruby sisi mimi Julie Betty Jessie Rapi Okay, there's up at the kumkane sukane dede fire My Kofi Me pesa Me uwa gusia fonina Na me se ya musa Uya me fo Ate me se di machi My Kofi Yeah Si ubi Mimi Kene soma me masha ukawa Eti di machi Kofi Me pesa Me uwa gusia fonina Na me se ya musa Uya me fe Ate me se di machi My Kofi Yeah Si ubi Kene soma me masha ukawa
Feel so nice, I got to think
All of this time in my life just to meet someone nice like you. But when I saw you for the first time, I was so much tempted to know what to do. PJ, I wanna be close to you, girl. Cause I love, 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 love the way you smile. Cause I love, 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 love to be with you around. Cause I love, 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 love your hospitality. Your hospitality. Me say don't say yes, I like your vicinity. Tell me I love your hospitality. Me say don't say yes, I be in your vicinity. African girl, you look so beautiful, so patient, hard-working, so humble. Girl, I love, 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 love the way you walk. Girl, I love, 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 love the way you talk. Girl, I love, 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 love the way you make me feel. The way you make me feel.
African girl, me have so much in love with you. Me can take it again, me don't know what to do. Say one look at you and me a act on control. Believe me, impressed, but me a talk about that true boy. And me a girl from Ashanti, Mantema. Baby, you the only one. I say, make it hard, man. Feel you standing close to me, even when you are so far. I guess a four, and the dance floor again.
African girl will never let you down. She always smiles, she never frowns. Girl, I blessed that day I met you, and I won't forget. African girl will never let you down. She always smiles, she never frowns. Girl, I blessed that day I met you, girl, and I won't forget.
African girl, you fine, your skin is smooth and shine. What about me? Spend some time now. Girl, would you give me your mind? We get the place and dine. Your name one alone is more than a runway. And I'm a Santua, a Santini Baba. We don't go pop, we say when you hear us begin. And I'm a Santua, a Santini Baba. We don't go pop, we say when you hear us begin.
African girl, you look so beautiful, so patient, hard-working, so humble. Girl, I love, love the way you talk, the way you walk. Girl, I love the way you talk, the way you talk.
When your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet, will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheeks? And darling, I will be loving you till you're 70. Yeah. Baby, my heart still falls as I at 23. Yeah. People fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just a touch of a hand. I fall in love with you every single day. I just wanna tell you I am. Go, take me in your arms, kiss me under the light of a dancing star. Place your head on my beating heart, thinking out loud, maybe we found love right where we are. When my hair's all gone and my memory fades, and the crowds don't remember my name, when my hands don't play the strings the same way, I know you will love me the same. Cause honey, your soul could never grow old, it's evergreen. Yeah, baby, your making the same mistakes, hoping you will understand, baby. No, take me in your loving arms. Oh yeah, kiss me under the light of a dancing star. Place your hand on my beating heart, thinking out loud. Maybe we found love right where we are. Shoo-doo-doo-doo, dante. Short body day, dan 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 din din din. Classic. Daddy, I no more koi. Bet you me crack on my water side. Continue and I try to continue meeting and catch you. I'm right. I'm a shame anymore. Ninti me dami no. I'm rameka me yeah. Many agina me do your way. On some refit, na me won't come on the beach and oh. Dano was in BSC and Tino. Made a fool to quench me, and so console and crown you. I don't know, I'm don't know. 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 I don't know, I'm penno. I don't know, I'm penny. Darling, give me another chance. Oh, adore you way. I'll never make you cry. Come back, darling. Give me another chance. Many days you know. Hey, I guess I don't know me do. Send your dobe me and I want you minty. Memo subo be a me bacho. Bonnie am I only na me no me wo. Fami boni chemio na zambre via. Mama godi me dendo. Yes, I don't want you to know me day. Oh, bingo, yes, I don't want you to know me day. Diego, yes, I don't want you to know. Intina. So baby, tell me if you're still okay. I'm just a man, I want you to know you're okay. So baby, tell me if you're still okay. I'm just a man, I want you to know you're okay. I don't know, I don't know. I don't know.
Osirie onwa na me da no onwa odoni de obedo minua odoni de obedo na make sure say odono unnom no so cause odono kodrobo so dia mami and the Ghana yedi nti emfo akoma nyina ma obi cause yet how the things that will happen to you, you have no idea. But on a more serious